Did you hear the press conference of?
Okay, let me. Good evening, good evening to everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the Mr. Arthur, you here with me? Welcome to the Nightly Exchange. Liberia Watch News. Welcome. Once again, sorry for the delay. Sorry for the delay. Um we will get it together. I told you I will continue to apologize till we get it straight, right? Because this is a new platform and everybody keep on, everybody have technical issues. Trying the transition is kind of a little difficult for every one of us, a little bit. So I will keep apologizing until we get it right. But we have to come here and talk about Liberia, talk about what's going on in our country, and talk about, you know, development wise. The little politics come into it. Well, sure, I said little, a lot of politics come into it, and then we talk about the social stuff too. And thank you for coming to join us to talk about it. And at the end of the night, we all come here and give our saying. It's not a holy Bible. Everybody have their own saying. We're here to educate our people about sometimes how to go about choosing their leaders and let them know about things that are also going on in the country. So, yeah, we thank you when you here. Join us every evening from Monday to Thursday, um, usually 12 in Liberia and 8 in the US. So, join us every Monday to Thursday, and then we're on Spoon from Friday to Saturday. So we're here. Everyone from any party, you can join us if you want to come on the platform. This is an independent platform. It's not any political party platform. We all come here from different sides. Everybody have their sides on this show. Um, I have my side that I support, and everyone here have that side. If you support the CDC, you support the Unity Party, you support the CMC, you support the ANC, you support the whichever party, NPP, it doesn't matter. Come here and give and propagate your party message, and then let's talk about Liberia when we all need to come together and talk about what best for Liberia. We talk about it as well. Sometimes it gets heated, but that's the beauty of it, right? You come and you in the comment section. If you don't want to come on, you comment. Sometimes we highlight your comments on the show for us to read it and sometimes laugh, and sometimes we put the numbers up if you want to call in to make your points on the topic on the discussion. You can do that as well. If you don't want to be on the show, you don't have to be. So while I wait for the other guys to come on, I'm just gonna be here to tell you about a lot of things that are going on in our country. We can't talk about everything one day because we don't have the luxury of time to do that, right? So we just talk about the ones that we see a little serious, or maybe concerning, or maybe sometimes fun in the country. We're just here to talk about it for that day, and shine some lights on it, or some new development on or changes on the yeah, order from the president, or ministries or whatever. So that's what we're here for every evening, to talk about it. So, welcome again. And this is the Nightly Exchange. And you can find us on Liberia Watch News on Facebook and YouTube. And please share the show when you go on there.
Hey, how much you doing? Yeah, we
Subscribe,
just
subscribe to our YouTube when you get on there. And let's discuss. Let's discuss. Let's discuss. And on here tonight we have Bila Soare and Mr. Arthur from Liberia. Thank you for joining us. Both be there going in the back. Thank you guys for joining. And we're gonna start tonight with first of all, we're gonna talk about some revelation that Tomafara has made, and also two cities sedition that making some statement today in the country about their former party or their party, because Krypton Dungy is still a sedition, right? And Tamafala is, I think he got expelled, so he having to be a what former sedition, but he's a Liberian. He's a senator, right? A representative. Yeah, representative. Lofakante. District number. Don't quote me. 4 years. So, and then we're also gonna talk about the um the relax from the bank, the issue from the writer from the bank, uh uh, um you know saying that what is the communication from the bank, I mean, about the executive order that the president had signed, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, that had everybody talking about the citizen identification card. So yeah, we're gonna talk about all of that today. We wish we had more time, because every day, our country is so busy. It's a lot of things that goes on there every day, but we cannot cover everything. We have to leave some for the next day or whenever we can. So, with that being said, Beta, welcome, and
Thank you so much.
welcome, Mr. Arthur.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, so
Have
without,
been getting it?
yeah, we can hear you. So, Beta, we're gonna start with what's on your mind. If you don't mind telling us, what did you notice in the country today, or what did you see? What did you hear? What's on your mind? Let us know. Let us know.
Well, thank you for having me. Let me say good evening to you, Brother Arthur. To all well-meaning Liberians, it's always a pleasure
Thank
to be here to discuss Mama Liberia. Always Liberia on our mind, whether from social, political, or religious issues. But
Mhm.
basically, it's a good thing to be here, and I want to say thank you publicly for your courage and always having the time to be here. I mean, to host or to discuss Mama Liberia, because it takes a lot to leave everything and always be here, making your duty and your commitment to strengthen somebody's conversation safely to get our country there. There are many ways we can contribute towards our country, and I think you will be part of history, the history that talk about people being remembered for all of these things. But having said that, it's good for us to say some of these things. It gave the flower to a man when he's alive. So I basically struggling, like you said, there are a lot of things in Liberia we could discuss. And I follow recently, today, just when I wake up in bed, I follow the issue with Hassan and Hussein Fadiga with the LDA, the two former officials. That has to do with a civil matter where somebody were in, both of them were in altercation, some disagreement, and I think AB
Mhm.
went to court, and I think one of the brother was, summoned today by the court. I think arrested by the court and later on sent to the central prison.
Mhm.
And I think that should be one thing that should teach all women in Liberia, because most of us we have amplified the issues about repetition. People should not damage one another repetition. But nowadays, young people, or even the older one as well, feel that once you just sit because you have the opportunity to tarnish anybody repetition. But one of the things I saw and I'm highly disappointed about it is some behavior that was carried on by the both of them, especially AB Kruma. I think when you are given victoria in a particular process, it is better that you exercise restraint to get that process to its final conclusion. No need for AB to have gotten another altercations with Hussein, to a restaurant that is said to be where people go to have, lunch, meal, and other stuff. People need to be responsible sometimes. In our society, if you feel bad about certain things, your repetition was like that, you went to the court. The court has already given you a judgment. Big brother stayed from the meeting until the guy gave the necessary amount the court told them to give you. It is not necessary to be in the media talking about this. It's sometimes, it sounds boring in the ears of people now. They sometimes say that you're showing up. It was not, people will say like it was not really about, restoring your reputation, but it is about you showing yourself, being in the news all of the time. And I think we have to say these things. In as much that I'm in support of anybody, it could be anybody tomorrow. If somebody sit on a platform and spoil your repetition that you build for some period of time, I think it is necessary that you go to court. But let the big brother stay from the media and try to exercise restraint as the process go on. You have already won the case. I think that's the big good news there. Thank you very much for having on.
Thank you,
We always like to tell our please keep sharing the platform as we do this together, because it is not only about the three of all the other guys that we join on, but rather all of us to discuss and give them more life. Thank you for having all that.
Thank you, Sarah. And I agree with you on the whole issue with the AB Kurma and Fadiga situation. I don't think I thought so too. I thought he should have let the court play out instead of, going after Fadiga and blagging him and going to the restaurant he going and all of that. What's the point to all that? If you have already been given a judgment or default judgment, whatever that was, because it didn't show all you said it was because of the Africans, let the court, you cannot get that money out of them by yourself. You can't do that. The court have to be the one to enforce that. So you going after Fadiga or you fight him in the street, that's not gonna shake 1 million out of him. Not even 10 out of it. It's not gonna happen like that. So yeah, I do agree with what you said on there. Mr. Arthur, what's on your mind? You're in the country. Tell us what's going on. All the good development, everything that is going on. Let us know.
I think, like you're saying, we are in the country, but one thing we observing is that the government information arm or the government, yes, that information machinery is not really coming forth with a lot of the good things that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't sell, it will be difficult for the citizens to buy because information is a market. You have to market the information, people will buy it either positively or negatively. And I think that the government is not really coordinating its information. And that is causing a lot of problem. Uh, One thing is the issue about the economy. And I want to just whine around that a little bit, then I can give you the chance to start the show. The government is doing, some level of development that, like the past government started some projects, and some of those projects were 75%, 80%, 50%. So those people had to continue the projects. So the most of the projects are continuing, and the government too is initiating some new ones. But like I said, that development will only be matched with the government's ability to manage the economy. And if you do not manage the economy the right way, you do all those things while implementing some of the past projects, implementing new projects, you're thinking about future projects. The people will not feel the development because the economy is not being handled. And I will ask that this government must focus a lot on the economy, regardless of everything that is happening. The word is now a kind of challenging word. Everybody wants their own development to go back to their country. A lot of factories, a lot of companies are now going back, to their homeland. So the government, all of us, we need to talk to the government to focus on the economy. I can tell you that the economy is tough,
Sorry.
and if we do not do something like yesterday, next year will be more challenging than we have now. And that's my take on that. The government should focus a lot on the economy.
So, Mr. Arthur, what I'm hearing is that regardless of what a government does in Liberia, right? If you don't focus on the economy, or if a government comes in, their first priority should be with everything head to scatter. Don't worry about it. Just focus on the economy. Is that what I'm
Yeah,
hearing?
no, it's not about. No, no,
It's
it's not what you're hearing.
because
It's not
okay.
what you're hearing. If you hearing it that way, then it means that you are not understanding the bigger picture. Because the
Okay.
bigger picture is
Mhm.
when a government comes to power, the first thing you do is to work on the economy. It is the economy because the economy is the driving force that will add to all the other things. If the people livelihood is still challenged, they do not have job opportunities coming into the country. No new companies coming. NGOs are winding down. Some of them who are working in the NGO sector, like the entire USAID programs.
Mhm.
That USAID program was being what was happening a lot of local NGOs. So all those staffs that work with those local NGOs, they are sitting home today, and government cannot absorb all those people. So all the money those people used to get and bring into the economy is sometimes it becomes a shock to them. They are not spending it again, and people that used to buy from those people are not making money again. So government should focus on the economy. If you don't focus on the economy, you can do all the development. The people, because while you are developing the country, the people have to develop their homes. And it is not the economy that will help them to develop the homes. For you, you have a budget already to develop the country. You have the budget to develop the road, build the hospital, build everything. But the people will depend on the functioning of the economy to build their own homes. So the economy is not good, it's a challenge.
So, Mr. Arthur, don't you think building the roads, fixing roads to trying to connect the counties and all of those things to help people, you know, like bringing their goods from the interior to the cities and all of that, doing that wasn't there already. Don't you think doing that is part of strengthening the people too, like building the economy in that way? And by you focusing on hospital and all of that, don't you think it's also a kind of sort of economy building, because you have to be well, right, before you work. You have to be able to go to a hospital, a good or healthcare. You have to have a good healthcare system while you're working and fall sick. So, I mean, should there be some kind of awareness to our people to understand these things? Because I do understand what you're saying, right? Like the government, like you said, they're doing some stuff and they do a lot of stuff, but it's all about, oh, we hungry. They're not buying. They want it. Do you think it's some kind of awareness to make our people understand? Because sometimes some of these things they don't understand it. So you cannot blame them. So do you think, like you're saying, the government information system or ministry not doing their job, or they're not working as they're supposed to work to let these people know how these things work? You think that's what we need to be doing? Because I think we need these things in the society.
Yeah. Okay, you want to come in?
Sorry.
Do you want to come in?
Into that.
Sorry, you want to come in?
Yeah, I want to come into. Yeah, I think you right when you talk about education. People need education, but Arthur Scratch a very unique. The primary goal of building an economy that should work for the people. You want to look at some basic necessity that has to do. Sometimes we talk about the bread and butter issues. You talk about how people should access goods. And, those are things how you monitor process, and I mean, those are basic things like Liberian are mostly, you know, I don't want to say carry away by, but those are things that they're concerned about how their life should be smooth. When you talk about strengthening, building roads and all those business things, I mean, it's a very good thing, right? But we have a society like Liberia. If you have to do all of these things and the people are not directly, you know positively affected by those things coming in a time period, you got a lot of criticism. So one because one of the things people always want to praise the former president Charles Taylor for, you want to say that we have war, we have all of these business things, but process, people have access to food, people have money were floating in the economy all around the place. So I mean, that wish one of the player thing. I'm not in the minds of the brother, but I think where he's speaking when we talk about strengthening the economy from the basis area, because if money is not floating the way it should, trust me, you want to do all of the necessary development. And I think sometimes development comes with a lot of things. I want to acknowledge that it comes with a lot of stress. Citizens go through this thing, but I think government should prioritize the issue about tackling how money should float in the economy. And I think the economy, I'm not one, but I think the economy can better expand on that from a more perspective of the economic, and aspect of governance. So I think that what he was speaking about, and I mean, it's a good thing that we should have government should always look at the paramount need of our people, build the roads, build infrastructure, but allow people access food, like get current on time, like get I mean, all the business necessity you want to look at as government, relieved when it comes to economic growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to give,
Because
I
you
just
talk
wanted to give
about
clarity.
you
Maybe then you can
want to
just
talk about the short term and long term period achievement of an economy.
yeah. So I just
Yeah,
wanted to give
brother,
me.
talk.
She said something. Yeah, she said something about the government building the roads. So we're talking from the layman point of the economics. We're not talking about the high and the macroeconomic issues, but the layman understanding about the economy is that you build the roads, he will go to his village, he takes his product, put on a car and bring it to red light, for example, and he brings the product there and nobody wants to buy. It is not that those people, I mean, they don't want to buy, but they don't have the money to buy. So you have to leave the goods there and go, and then you have to go back to look for our Nima. Then after 2, 3 weeks, the warehouse manager or the person who is managing to sell the goods say, up to now, people are not coming to buy. What will motivate that person in the next harvest year to plant more? That's the layman economic issue you're talking about there. You can build all the roads, but if you do not have other issues, that will help that man. For example, if I were part of the government and I could provide some basic suggestions, and one thing that will help, um, I had the opportunity to study in China, and also I spent a lot of time, about 4 or 5 years in China, and I know how the Chinese system works. They they do not they do not focus on the bigger economy, that bigger picture of the economy, investments and whatsoever. They do not focus on it just like that. Like the way we focus on ours, wherein everybody looking for investor to come into the country, investor to come into the country, and that's our focus.
Mhm.
For the Chinese, they focus on building the local economy. So when you're building a local economy, what do you do? For example, you go to an area where people are planting groundnuts.
Mhm.
and you do the assessment and say, look, how many tons of groundnut these people can produce every year? They say, oh, 50 tons or whatsoever ton they can produce. You do the statistics and do all the, thorough surveys around that. Then you go to Europe and America or Asia or whatsoever and say, look, Mr. Investor, you both do peanut butter, but we have this local economy. It's vibrant. The people are there. They are plenty. They know how the packaging well, and they can even help you to provide you some raw materials if you want it just in natural form, or you want it to be shredded in the kind of liquid form. They can even send that to you, and then you'll just be able to be or you can go there and transfer technology and tell them how do you want it in the final product to be shipped to you in the container whatsoever.
Mhm.
So then now that company will now come in and work with the local economy. But if you do not focus on the local economy, you just allow the banana, the plantain, they just come to Morovia, people buy it, that's it, the cassava. I can tell you, just with cassava alone, if we focus on cassava, we can be able to tap Nigeria. Nigeria is the leading producer of cassava in the West African basin. We may not be able to tap because of the population, but we can do a lot in cassava. But what are we doing to develop the local economy? The people that produce the cassava, they bring it in town, and when they bring it, that's it. I have cassava in the bush. Recently, can you imagine people telling me to buy 25 kg a bag of cassava for 500 liberty, which is almost like $2.50. And we spend a lot of money, almost $100,000 to do the entire farm. How much will we get for that cassava? So up to now, the cassava is still in the bush. We're still looking that the price will go up a little bit before we can be able to bring it in town. So until government can go and build a local economy, I tell you, it's not going to work.
But Mr. Arthur, I'm glad you said that. You have the cassava in the bush and something. With the road condition that we have, right? The muddy road, when it rains, the car is getting stuck. Even people going to the hospital, they can't get by. I mean, before we bring investors in to come and help our people, don't you think the government needed to take care of those issues first? Because if the investors they come in, how are they going to get to those places? How are they going to like electricity, road connectivity? If all of that is messed up, don't you think it's a similar problem? Like, there's no way for the investor to get there. You have to also make the climate, comfortable, right, for the investor. So I mean, I don't know. I think like Liberia's situation is just a little hard or something, but I think in my mind, everything is important right now. The role, electricity, all of that is important. I understand. The layman, our people, they don't understand it. They don't understand how these things work. But if you're talking about bringing people from outside in, investors, those things has to get taken care of. So that's where I was coming from. Don't you think
I,
it's important
I
as
just
well?
wanted to clarify something.
Mm-hmm.
If you have groundnut any part of the country, or you have cassava any part of the country,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you live in the United States. Not all the roads are paved. All the roads to the farms are not paved.
It's passable. There's no
No,
car getting stuck in
no,
the mud.
no.
We may be doing a
But
little
all the
practicing,
roads,
but no car getting stuck in the mud.
yeah, but all the roads are not paved because even the UC tried those projects here in Liberia and it worked. They have gravel road that they can be able to work on it well. We've been using some of the roads.
Yeah, to make
If
it
you go
passable,
from
right?
there's a place in Bong County called they call it place Bassa Village. It's right in between. When you take the road, you go to Bassa, and then you take the road, you go to Magibi. You
Mm-hmm.
should build a road going all the way to Villa Gang, going all the way to another village, all the way to Morompanga. That road is perfect through a Renaissance dry season. You got to brought the gravel on the road, they built it and all that. So when it rains, the rain just go down. It does not carry most of the gravel. They build it well, nice, and they're using it. You don't have to say quota must be on all the roads.
No.
But when there is major production in that village, when the people are making the money from there, they will always maintain that the road and the company will be there, the factories will be there. Like I said, I went to China. Not all the roads in China are paved. The Chinese don't pave all the roads, but they make sure when product is there, they will maintain the road. When you don't have product, you can put all the roads, and you don't encourage people to put that product there. On the road will be useless. Look at Basel Road today. How many goods coming from Basel? Look at Bombay Road today. How many goods coming from Bombay and Kimball? You can build on the roads. But if you don't motivate the local economy, we're going nowhere. And I think that's the argument.
Understood. So we're gonna move on
Thank
from
you.
this topic for now. And yeah, we our government has a lot to do with and I know the government listens, so we hope that we get there to touch the people, because like we said, no food on the table, they're not buying. That's all they see. They're not looking beyond that. So we have to get there and meet them halfway. So I'm gonna play this video. Then from there we will talk about.
That's what I said to the president. I said, Mr. President, for me, I'm not a unity party man, right? But this government, as long as I'm a local man, I'm from local country, and I'm a citizen, and I'm part of this government. I'd like for the record to state here, I support this government 100%. I support the president and his agenda. So someone was saying, Thomas Fire we saw a few months ago, and keep fire, this is the keep fire. So let the message go, Lofa is one Lofa now. We're moving in one direction. We are moving in one direction, except someone want to convince me why we should not move in one direction. Because I was under the water, I was under the river, right? So I know the pictures are out there. So you can tell me about the pictures that are under the creek. So I was once under that creek, right? Yeah. So if you want to bring that argument, we'll discuss it later.
Okay, gentlemen, I was under the water before. I was part of the other side, so I know all the creatures that there, right? You can't.
But I don't pay attention to the recording. You know, God bless more.
So you cannot tell me whatever under that water, right? You can't got to
Yeah, brother.
what's under that water, the crocodiles, right? So guys, watching this is I don't know, he's a former nut, right? He was expelled
Yeah, he was a spell. Yeah.
from the CDC.
Yes, he was expelled. I'm trying to share the show. So yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Yes, he was expelled.
Okay. So now he's pledging his support to the government, right, of Liberia to succeed. I mean, is this what we should be seeing, or should people be crossing on the other side before they be supportive of a government, or, what is this? What do you guys make of this? Thomas, Father, I'm sorry, Mr. Arthur, we'll start with you. You got this. This is your. yeah.
I think Tifa, like we always call him, there is still a role for Tifa, but every day, Tifa is trying to widen the gap, and which is his personal, it is his right.
Mhm.
And one thing that is happening in the country, people like you in those United States of America don't understand is that Liberia is shifting. Everybody is now preparing for the after, President Boakai, and the after former President Weah, because former President Madam Saliva is no longer in the picture like before. But people are now preparing for the after the former president Weah and after the current president Boakai. Everybody preparing. Even I myself, we are preparing. And one of the thing that will be very clear in terms of yes, is right. One that is very clear would be that after 2029, 2030 inauguration, 2036, even 2029 will be what is there for our people, what is there for my tribe. It may not be, we may see it to be bad, but I think if the tribal leaders can prepare themselves and do not use hate in the minds and revenge against one tribes and and fight between tribes and tribes, I think it's a very great system because in those United States of America, you people are in, there is something called electoral college. And, bigger states will have bigger positioning, but in Liberia, we do not have that kind of electoral college. So Thomas Fala is now positioning himself to be a kind of godfather of Lofa. After the current president, Waga, is leaving, Thomas Fala, they want to be the godfather of Lofa. And if he does not support his government now, it becomes difficult for him to preach the godfatherly role that Prince Joseph preached in Nima. Nima is already noted for that. Bon County is still in between. I'm from Bon County. We're working on a lot of things. Yes, ours may not be political because we want to talk about economic rights. So we have the National Association of Pele and Pele speaking people. On May 17th, we're able to go to Bon County. We had a very big program there highlighting that the Pele people should no longer be discriminated by saying Pele from Lofa, Pele from Bapulu, Pele from this place. One Pele, 15 counties, one Pele. That's now the slogan. So we will now want. I would just want to end up with this. Thomas Fala should not use that formula as a fixed formula, because Liberians are a group of people who minimize the maximum and maximize the minimum. And any group of people that you see that minimize the maximum and maximize the minimum, they are not people that are setting. You don't use formula on them. That's the reason why all those that talk like you are very serious, they have not succeeded. That's a simple formula. And those that people are taking like you are very serious, like the commies, you can't do the analysis and take. You tell like you are serious, you will not be serious. You will not succeed.
Wow.
But those who are lukewarm, playful, and be that way, the way Thomas are taking like you are very serious, I tell you, by 2029. When things shift and the political backlash start to come on Thomas Fala, and most of the things he's doing in this country, people know Thomas Fala. They know how he acquires some of the wealth. So when they start going after him, bringing him down, seizing property and do other things there and tax on it, at that time now, he will want to shift. And if he's not careful to calculate well, there'll be resentment. They'll say, no, don't come. He will want to come, don't come. And when he want to force it, when he comes, the backlash will still be on Thomas Fala. He may win Lofa, but he may not have that kind of economic empire. And I think that's my warning with Thomas Fala. You have to take it very cool with the CDC. Don't ignore the hands that supported you yesterday.
So, Mr. Arthur, are you saying that Thomas Fala should? I'm kind of confused when you say taking Liberia too seriously. What does that mean? Taking Liberia too seriously?
No, but I mean, show me those that really took Liberia very serious, and today they took Liberia very, very serious, and today you see them. Where are they? From the Gabriel Barcos Matthew to the Tupananti, but to the Bronstein, to that of the.
But isn't that a good thing though?
It's good, but at the Saki, I just told you, the meaning of minimizing the maximum and maximizing the minimum. Well, a group of people, let me just call it short, maybe you'll come in with that. A group of people who should things that they should take serious, they don't take it serious. But the things that they should not take serious, that the one they can take serious. If you're dealing with a group of people, you don't use sex formula. Whatever they want to use to say, oh, we're support Lofa, that Lofa black, no way. And you're not careful. Even the people in Lofa will get problem with you. And in the end, you want to run to the CDC. CDC say, no way. We're not ready for you on the 2030. As soon as they start so many indictment on you, seizing your property, do all kind of things with Thomas Fala doing. And at that moment, he will be left. Look at what happened for Nani Kofa.
So
talk with him, he agreed everything. Now he gave up power. In that movement, you have to go to Sobish. This country you take serious in that way.
So
you took the country serious and say, okay, for the sake of the country, let everything be. I don't want money, I don't want anything. You take the power, they still take the power and they can after you again. Put you in jail, you in court. They will do everything. Maybe they will want to take even a representative position from you. In every serious country, that kind of thing happen.
I thought That's a grave allegation to say they're coming after you. I think the evidence is going after him. We shouldn't say that somebody just pick
No,
him
man.
going after him. The evidence is going after him. But anyway, one more question before I move on to sorry. The travel thing, right? Like you said, it's not a bad thing. That kind of hit me a little bit. Should we be if we have people from a county, right, who are in higher leadership, like the president, the vice president, all senators and stuff? And I mean, should they be prioritizing their counties? Like, something that when you get up there, that's what you do. Would that give everybody in Liberia, every counties, people from the country, would I get everybody the chance to reach to that height? Because every country will be like, well, I want my country to develop. I want this to happen to my country. So let me support the man that come from my country that is in this race. Is that what Liberia should be doing now? Would that be a bad thing? Or in order to, keep our keep every county developed, all part to keep it to prioritize every counties. Should we be looking at that route, like making sure that if I'm from, like Joe Burger right now, he's from Lofa County. Yeah, he should focus on Liberia, but Lofa County should be, you know, by the time he leaves, Lofa County should be well developed and equipped. Do you think that would encourage Liberians to vote for? Uh, uh, because that will I think that would encourage them to vote for people from that county. Would that be a good thing? Would that be a bad thing for our country? I mean, what do you think about that?
So, what's your view on that? Is it bad? Then I can tell you why it's not bad.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing once you're looking at every other counties, but I mean, your home, right? You pay attention to your home because this is what we always say that, oh, look at the place where he come from. It's not even this one. It's not even that one. So with those kind of statements, I don't think it's such a bad thing if you're not just ignoring everything everybody else, but you pay a little bit more attention to your county. I don't see it to be such a bad thing because you want your people to. I think like you're appreciating them for voting for you or something like that.
You know, the challenge about the current president is that, even if he wants to come for re-election,
Yeah.
the possibility of him coming for re-election will be difficult. I think that's a problem with him. But if he had the opportunity to be re-elected, he could use a strategy for the former president. Maybe it may not work, but if he's doing well, maybe it will work. And that is, he came from the Southeast. His first 6 years, he will focus on going to the Southeast, develop all the roads, do everything and something. He said, no, the Jerry Rawlings style. Use half of my years, focus on my on other areas. Then the last 6 years, I can focus on my people. That could be that is a very good strategy. But I can tell you no lie, it's not a bad idea, especially when the leaders of the tribes or the region are sincere to collaborate. For example, if you look at the Bassa and the Pele, if the Bassa and the Pele, if they come together today and they decide on a president, like what Bronsky and Slunter wanted to do, all right? If Bronsky and Slunter was going to be elected, Bassa and Bon County or Bassa and Pele, which is from other county because Pele in Bapul, Pele, Lofa, whatsoever, if they had to come together, what they will be doing as a bigger democracy would be that we must put the interest even of the minority. We start supporting minority tribes to start developing. Let them know that the majority has interest in the minority. And I will end up, maybe you'll have all of you, even the president of the United States. When he talks about America first, who is thinking about? He's thinking about the white Americans. He's not talking about black Americans and this. He's segregated in that. He's not talking about that. When you read to degrade black people in America there, they are eating the dogs and the cats. Africa is this whole country. All that thing he's talking, he's referring to a particular group of people there that he's supporting. So it's just all around the world. Your own is your own. So I agree with Thomas Fala, but I can tell him the hand that feeds you, do not burn it. And Thomas Fala is pointing the CDC. Today, he's removed from majority of the chat rooms. Today, he's targeted. Who knows? He may be blessed because he's not in opposition. He may be blessed. Maybe qualified to 2029. People were accepting the bring him back. But if he's not to come back and the opposition is to win, people will target him directly. And all he fought for over the years, there'll be resentment. And I can tell you, some of us have to be very careful. That's just my warning to him.
Thank you, Dad. Also, alright.
Thank you.
Like it's the author said some of us will be targeted. Should in case CDC come back. I mean, is this what we should be doing when a person is no longer in a party and they move to another party and they're no longer signing the horn for that former party? Should that be a problem for them? That when they never knew how this person came about, they were supporting the person, holding him, and just now they, because he no longer supports them, they know him to be a bad person. They want to come after him. I mean, is that the doctrine we want to be pushing in Liberia, or is that something that we should be people who want to come back to power? With looking at Revelation, should the Liberian people be comfortable to bring them back?
Well, no. I mean, there are many ways people understand politics, and they chose to play their politics the way they wish. And there are certain politicians you may not like them, but they are part of the recycling politicians, people who want to maintain power and being the cycle of governance. And I think one of those could be Tifa Tomafala. And I don't like the brother politics. You talk about him, you talk about Musa Ability, you talk about Eddie Snow. Most of the elite in our politicking, you may not like that in our politics. But I think for some reason, when political science talk about re-strategizing, they have certain basis when it comes to that. I know, brother, I thought to be an activist, mostly part of humanitarian work, but I don't know how the brother is well inclined when it comes to politics. But thank you for that political analysis. You know, I mean, I see these issues from different angles. Some of us want to maintain the cycle of being governance, and you want to understand why is it you want to be in the cycle of being government. And when you talk about going back home, don't forget to know that their brother is a trained seditious. They understand they in and out of Liberian politics, and they understand how to maintain status. Even the very CDC that is not in power today, they maintain status by being in relationship with some government official, and that is the start with. That's not only the CDC. The greater part as well. You got some guys that were in position. I mean, there are people in Liberia you don't want to dispute the fact that they just want to be somehow in collaboration with government, whether indirectly in the name of advocating for Liberia or directly being in government. That's Stomafala and other folks. But now, should Liberia train on that trajectory? I said no. Liberia as a country and Liberians should not vote people based on whether you have your kinsmen within them. Don't forget to do that. Don't get me wrong to say politics is not interest. Politics is interest, but it should be the overall interest, because you know what? If we try to vote people on the basis of this tribal group, this individual, this blah blah, in a group of people, at the end of the day, we not make progress, because you know what?
No, countess.
Yeah, we have countess. Let's say that's what I said. They blah blah blah. We have the kind of setback in our politicking. What do I mean by that? Because even the very, let me lead the politics a little bit. Even the very constitution talk about our national cake should be divided equally among the 15 counties, right? So when you look at a particular county, voting to vote somebody on the basis of they from that county, I think in my mind, I may be wrong, but it doesn't make sense to me, because at the end of the day, you see a group of people too. And at the end of the day, multi-party, something, political party being in our country to encourage our democracy is a very good thing. But at the end of the day, you know what? You see a group of people waking up from certain part of Basel. You say we're not part of the other Basel people. That's why I'm not party to bring around a president. So you want to look at many factors that are surrounding the whole issue about people, supporting people on the basis of certain ethnicity. It's a good thing to support whosoever you want to support because you believe in it that they will transform Liberia holistically. But you know what? Liberia, that is one thing to come in.
Don't you think in doing that though, don't you think it would give the 15 counties, right, the chance for improvement? Okay, so there are some sons and daughters from a county that did not pay attention. Where is Dow from? What county is Dow from?
Who?
Dow. Eddie Johnson said.
I think she's from the Bowman region.
She from Bomi County. She's from
Bomi.
She's from Jejua.
Okay.
Specifically.
So this might not even work, right? It might not even work because she's from that county, right? And she was president for what, 12 years?
Exactly.
People always talk about Bomi is like the poorest, place. So this is why I mean, like, don't you think that would be, like, give every county the chance to development, not tribes, because you have several tribes from that counties, right? So we're not doing individual like tribes. Oh, the Mandingo, the Basa, the Kudu. No. Everybody from that county. That's what we're talking about. It's not like you ignoring the other 14, but to do something good in your own. Then the next person, I want my own to be like the next county, and then we have to focus on the other county. There's somebody from there to win, and then the next election, we have to focus on the other county. Somebody to win. I mean, don't you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, I mean, when you're speaking from that perspective, thank you for bringing all those people when you talk about development as well. You talk about the former president, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and you look at bombing on her 12 year. So realistically, I don't think it will bring any efficiencies when you talk about governance in their country. Because you know what? If you try to just focus on the country you're from, not with looking at other countries, then you'll be more criticized. Then you'll be
not ignoring other counties now. But anyway.
So in the past now, the current president now was the vice president. What did he do in Lofa that you, myself, can really point out when you talk about development in Lofa?
He was the vice president. He's the president now.
Yeah, he was the vice president. He was part of the government policies. He has view. He has output. He has advices that he should give. As
he was president. A park car.
No, I mean that's another political argument. But I mean, let's be real to this conversation.
I can answer that. Sorry, I can answer that.
That's the political argument. Let's be real to this conversation. Let me conclude, brother. There's no realistic fact, or there's no, let's say, broad, let's say pictorial evidence that we can bring about those past presidents that has to do with from our decade, right? Let's talk about the 2000 region to come. I don't want to go to the 90s, right?
Oh, we don't know about those. We know about the 2000.
Yeah, man. The 2000 range to come, right? So, I mean, let's point out one president or vice president that really did. We talk about the president we are. The brother was just scratching the point talking about the strategy president we are, bro, was to not really focus on the
yeah, we don't know that.
But the other says that was not even sure. What would you tell us that you needed to get another 6 years to go and develop that? So here's the thing, that's just the jovial aspect of it. But I think in my mind, people should be voted, or people should do work on the basis of how the national kit should be divided equally. Because when you try to do it one-sided, other people feed this in China. Yep, other people saying all sorts of things. So at the end of the day, you will not get the kind of too many laws in the country. But I think when you get the opportunity to, you should have a footprint in your country. That's not bad. But equally, you should also look at other places as well. I think that's my thought on this.
Thank you. Family, you want to come in? Did you watch it? Were you listening from the back?
But when you can't lay there, don't be jumping say you want to answer a question.
I've always said it.
Did you see?
I've always said it over and over and again that we as intellectuals, when we come to
that's what I said to the president. I said, Mr. President, for me, I'm not usually party man, right? But this government, as long as I'm a local man, I'm from Lofa County. I'm a citizen. And I'm part of this government. I'd like for the record of statement. I support this government 100%. I support the president and his agenda. So someone will say, Thomas Father we saw a few months ago, key fire, this is the key fire. So let the message go, Lofa is one Lofa now. We're moving in one direction. We are moving in one direction, except someone want to convince me why we should not move in one direction. Because I was under the water, I was under the river, right? So I know the pictures are out there. So you can tell me about the pictures that are under the creek. So I was once under that creek, right? Yeah. So if you want to bring that argument, we'll discuss it later.
Okay, so you there? Are you frozen?
We the one can see you. You dark.
Oh, what's going on? Oh boy, what did I press here?
You gonna figure that out.
Your video is maybe your video is off. Yeah.
But look, let's be honest, Arthur, where's my brother Soiree? Look, the issue about Liberia and its politics has always, from the time immemorial, you've been around before some of us, Arthur. But you know our politics is mostly around.
Can you see me now?
No, we can't see you, Amy, unfortunately.
No, we are not seeing you. Yeah.
What's going on? Okay, keep on. Go ahead.
Our politics have always been more or less a cultural politics, wherein not only about being cultural, they just say tribal politics, because people pay more homage to their tribal men. They protect their tribal men than any other group. So we saw that when President Todman, let's just go from the historicity of Todman. When Todman was president, we saw what happened, that most of his people that was holding some of the key positions were from that region, and it keep going on and on and on and on and on. So this is not something that we can see different in our current dispensation. No, it's not going to change like that. If you want that to change, I mean, there's so many things in like bro going to change. But Representative and Deputy Speaker Thomas Farah was very emphatic, and he said that his argument is about one Lofa. His argument was not about the presidency. He said he supports President Bouakar's presidency, and that's clearly speaks to people being very nationalistic, putting in front the general good of the country, which is Liberia. He said, I support the agenda of the president, and we want this president to succeed. And on the other front, we want the one Lofa solidarity. We know what happened in the 2023 elections. And this is a form of reconciliation, a very bold step that he said, except somebody tells me otherwise, that we should not have a one Lofa solidarity, where Lofa should be one. Like how Nima say one voice, Lofa say one voice, So he was preaching on that front. There are so many good sons and daughters from Lofa County, and Lofa County from a broader historical standpoint was considered as the breadbasket of Liberia. And that county was one of the counties that was producing some of the goods that our Liberian people benefited from so much. And he's saying that we cannot succeed, we cannot sustain ourselves, we cannot contribute to the growth and development of this country if we are divided. So our argument here now is for us to have one Lofa solidarity, because we had the 5 people die in the process and all during the 2023 elections. We saw that in Lofa County there was a huge commotion, and there was this blood of animosity shared among brothers, because they were uncles and nephews that were fighting against each other. And now the election is over, and they had meetings. There have been a couple of meetings held so that their back on be back on, and the president had to intervene in that, being an elderly statesman and uncle and nephew and whatsoever to all of the parties that were involved. He amicably resolved it, and today that the deputy speaker is calling for us to have one Lofa solidarity, so Lofa can be in one accord going forward, like other counties. And so this is a good sense of being nationalistic and putting aside individual differences and supporting the agenda of the president. And on the other hand,
Yeah,
he
but
also
you say, formula. You say
Yeah.
like other counties, like which county now?
like
Beside Nimba?
Nima counties. Nima County.
No, like beside Nimba now. Because you say like other counties beside Nimba. Don't
the
call
Nima
Nimba again.
Nima County is doing well. I mean, because county will have to show example so other people can follow. You see what I'm saying?
Because you
That's
say other
exactly-
counties.
Yeah, but
So
the other
don't
counties
focus
that are
on
trying.
Nimba.
I mean, there are other
Like
counties
what?
I cannot name, but there are other counties that are trying. Like for example, Grand Cape County is also trying. Grand Cape
In what
County.
way?
In what way?
Yeah.
Their caucus have reconciled it because we had the divide that were
Okay.
between them. They have had series of meetings. They are reconciling. Just how Thomas Farah is saying now, let us put for one front. So all the other countries they are seeing
The
reasons.
one came strategy has that work. Don't make it like you say the one came
I'm not
strategy
going to
work.
be a prophet of doom. I'm not going to be a prophet of doom on the show to tell you that.
Can't tell you from there, but the one came strategy has never worked.
It will
Yeah,
work.
that been tested.
And that's
Everybody
the reason-
trying, even the one lofa strategy that Thomas Farah is talking about, it has not worked. It has not worked. Now all of that, even because
That's
of
what I'm saying to the president. Said, Mr. President, for me, I'm not a unity party man, right? But this government, as long as I'm a local man, I'm from local country, and I'm a citizen, and I'm part of this government. I'd like for the record to state that I support this government 100%. I support the president and his agenda. So someone was saying, Thomas Farah we saw a few months ago, and keep fire, this is the keep fire. So let the message go, Lofa is one Lofa now. We're moving in one direction. We are moving in one direction, except someone want to convince me why we should not move in one direction. Because I was under the water, I was under the river, right? So I know the pictures are out there. So you can tell me about the pictures that are under the creek. So I was once under that creek, right? Yeah. So if you want to bring that argument, we'll discuss it later.
So that was the part that is trending now on the internet. This is the part, the final part that people are spinning it. People are giving it in different tone about the deputy speaker referring to forgetting about those creatures under there. I've been with them before. I was on that bridge with them. But when we reach that area, we'll cross that bridge. So now today the internet is trending. All of the political psychometry guys in, they are spinning it around, and some mainstream and fake news outlets, they are out there beating it left and right. And I mean, it's fine. This is politics. People have the right, and that's the reason why I love the part. He said, I'm a Liberian, I'm a citizen, and I have the right to align with anybody I want to align with. And I think we should just respect his opinion. And he said what he wanted to say. And I think he said in the positive direction that I must support, as a true patriot and as a true son of the soil, I must support the agenda of the president so that this government can succeed. Because if this government succeed, that means the Liberian people succeed. And that's just it.
Do you think someone for that is trying to, like Mr. Arthur said earlier, that he's trying to take that godfather role after President Boakai in Lofa country? Do you see his speech as such?
Look, there are many good songs from Lofa County, like I said earlier. There are many good songs from Lofa County, and it is never a bad thing if they decide, because for somebody to become a godfather, they will have that title is not going to be a self-bestowed title. It's title that the people themselves going to bestow on you because of your workings, because of your relation with them, because of your influence. What more have you done for them? So if someone in the short period of time really have a huge mark on the people of Lofa County, and it deemed it necessary to consider him as their godfather, so be it. So they are the one that can decide whether he become the godfather or not, he cannot do unnecessary chest beating. So if he speak in that direction, he's saying that once it is about the national interest of our country, and it's about Liberia, and it's about supporting the agenda of the president, I'm in 100%. He did not say I'm partially in it today. He gave his percentage. He said I'm 100% in support of this. So that means there's no ounce of doubt. There is no pieces in there that somebody going to say, oh, and he gets some little doubt. No, Thomas Father has given his 100% support of the president agenda to succeed in Liberia. He gave his disclaimer. He said, everybody knows that I'm not a unity partisan, because this is the same thing that we have been saying over and over, that Liberia development and the sovereignty of the Liberian people knows no political party. If Liberia must succeed, we must not judge our argument in our progress as a nation on political party. It should be based on collective effort and individual ingenuity and innovation to push the agenda of the government to make sure everybody succeed. And because if the government succeed, everybody succeed. And that's exactly what Thomas Father is up to.
Should every senators and representatives, no matter of your political party, be doing that when I mean, should this be a new trend in Liberia? I know they're not used to it. Everybody always care for that party, even if it's the good of the country. They always, oh well, it will make my party look bad. Like the city shifts. Like not too long ago, a couple of months ago, the vice president was in Chima, right? In the Senate, asking for people to support his colleagues, or former colleagues, should I say, to support the agenda. Election is over. Let's work for the Liberian people. Let's work to support the rescue agenda, the arrest, and you had some seditious saying that why should they? Should we support this agenda so you can look good? Should we support? We have to. Our party has an agenda, and I kind of felt, me living in America and know that after election, I'm not saying they don't play politics, but to be so bold telling somebody that no, we're doing it for our party, we want for the agenda to fill, we want it so our party can look good. It was something strange to me. So with someone for that saying stuff like that, he's saying he's not a UPist, right? Mm-hmm. Should every senators and representatives, take after him? Should we be doing this? Should they be listening to stuff like that and following it instead of thinking about their political party, even though election time is over and done?
I wanted to come on that.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Well,
I think
from the land,
yeah. I thought
you're going to come.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because I've already said it. Yeah, I've already said it. Yeah, I've already said it. For I do not support people putting the interest of their political institution first before ahead of the Liberian people. Mm-hmm. Like I've said on numerous occasions that if you go to the grocery stores today, if you go to the markets, you go to all of the area where basic goods and services are rendered to Liberian people, there's no label on those goods, on the assorted goods that says political party, CDC, Unity Party, ANC. No, the prices of those goods is one and all for all. So if the suffering in Liberia or the struggle of our people in Liberia knows no political party, that means that no political party is above the interest of our Liberian people. And Thomas Father is not just the only one. We saw a few weeks ago the chairman for some kind of something CDC pledged his loyalty to the development of Nima County. He turned over. They had a ceremony for him in Nima County with the superintendent, Honorable Gono. I have always missing her first name. Yeah. But that's very brilliant woman. So you saw that what happened. Someone chairman for operation, chairman for operation. He came over and he said he's going to support the agenda for the development of the country, not only for institutions. So this is the thing that we're trying to do now. Let us leave those extremists. Those extremists will always be like that. I think Representative Thomas Father was right to call them creatures, because sometimes they they behave some kind of way.
Well, I
But
disagree on that. I don't think Thomas Father will honorable
I
Thomas
know he's
Father
not referring to them, but people
referring
who
to
behave in that
CDC.
manner,
I think it
we,
was a metaphor that like
yeah,
you said, I've
those
been behind
elements
the
for me,
house
I
and
can call them elements.
for
Say I
him
can't
to
even
say
call them
creature,
creature.
and I don't know why they would be thinking that he was calling them creature. I think he was speaking metaphorically speaking.
Me, I can call them elements. I don't call them creature. So we can use too many
And how
sides
do
to be
you call
knowledgeable.
United Partisan? How do you
Uh,
call United Partisan?
Look, I'm not discussing that right now. I'm discussing those elements. When you come back, you
The
can look for the
elders
one
of
for
CDC.
the elements for CDC. They always think that the interest of their political party is bigger than the country, and that's the reason why some of us we get be like, look, guys, you guys are political extremists. You guys don't look at good things. You guys don't look at bad things. You guys don't look at anything that's in the interest of President Weah, ex-President Weah. So you guys are we are extremists. You guys just over there to worship Weah, and that's it. It's good for you. But for now, we are happy that they have sons and daughters who have independent thinking. They say, oh, okay, I'm not this political party. I'm not representing political party. I'm representing the agenda of the country. So I mean, it's okay. Everybody can support the agenda, and once that agenda succeeds, if they see a President Weah was not in the CDC-led government was not in a particular political, they're not doing too many political stunts where they were forcing people to do things that they're not wanted to do, they're not comfortable to do, and they were lying on a false pretense to the Liberian people, and they were actually in the right direction, like they really mean what they mean by pro agenda for peace and prosperity, or what kind of prosperity. If they were really true to that particular agenda, they who have done well, because even on that agenda, this government took something out of that agenda, the good ones that the government know that they can work with.
Thank
The
you,
government took it and continue working for the Liberian people. So we see that it is possible that people can be from different political parties but support the agenda of the government, and the government can succeed. Thank you. I thought you can come in.
brother. What do you think?
Yeah, these kinds of categorization. That's one of the reasons why we're looking at the Honorable Thomas Fala not to be in his right frame of mind, and it's terrible. All right, to look at people who made you, from the playing field, people who looked at you when you never had the kind of money you have now, and their sweat and blood made you representative in 2005, 2011, 2017, you went, and 2011, 2023, when you look for country, you were able to win. Well, all those good people that you interacted with, that build slogans around you, you call them preachers today, and people in the Unity Party, other people want to justify that kind of demeaning characterizations of Silesians. I believe in my mind, it's not a good thing. And one of the things that the CDC is teaching the Unity Party, the number one thing is that peaceful transition is possible. And that the CDC has taught the Unity Party that very well. Very
How
peaceful,
so?
no too much margin, less than 1%, give power freely. And you don't have to
did
do
the
it like
same
in
thing too.
2011.
No way.
No, 2011. Well, my man, don't talk about Unity Party doing anything. 2011, what happened? People knew that they were going for re-election. We saw the kind of police state. Brutalize people and kill people at the CDC party headquarters. Just because they wanted to go, even the second round of the election, CDC in the majority had to say they boycotting the election because of the hostile terrain. So is that transfer of power? 2017, it was very clear. If Marcelli was going to accept to use that same kind of brutal force, and this country was going to be plunged into another thing. And she said no, she couldn't accept it. So don't try to prove and start categorizing people, calling them all kinds of things. I want to say this about, since Emmy said something about supporting political ideology. One thing that we miss in this country, since Emmy, is that everything we do, all the political system. For example, I had the opportunity to go and visit Professor Lumumba in Kenya. When I was in Kenya in 2001, on my birthday, I was watching the People TV, the documentary about Jomo Kenyatta. These people, they were using slogans to unite people. Because when they say Aram Day, Day, when your friends say Aram Day, then you say Bay, meaning that only togetherness we can develop the country. Toba had a slogan, and that slogan was that the total involvement, their friend would say for higher height.
Mm-hmm.
Manaseli came, there was no slogan, no way for Liberians to unite or any slogan. The former president, we came, that whole concept of a pro-poor agenda, I can tell anybody. We did not use it in the election in 2017. There was no way will you ever have a pro-poor in 2017. Almost similar thing like this on the Facebook podcast. I came up and I told the people that this election was an election for the poor people. And the government will put in place pro-poor program, pro-poor policy. Because when I heard the former vice president of Zambia, Gaya Scott, he was a white man. And when he was asking the documentary, why were you elected as a white man in Zambia? He said, because I am pro-poor. I am for the poor. We learned some other things in development. I don't want to give you something about the slogan, says Emmy, that this government that is in power now.
So pro-poor was a slogan to unite Liberian people? That's what we're hearing tonight?
Yeah. Pro-poor was a slogan, but it was not, because when those guys, when few people in the party that we support did not understand and did not come back, because when they heard it from some people like us, they just look at it to be like it was just something to say. No. Even the president inaugural speech, the former president inaugural speech, it was not placed in his inaugural speech. That pro-poor was placed in the State of the Nation address. And that pro-poor had additional slogan. And that one, when he said pro-poor for common prosperity, that was a slogan.
So
Pro-poor for common prosperity.
One more question.
But Jara said the rescue. What can we connect? What a slogan we use, even in the rescue, that will connect me with any rescue missionaries.
I'll tell you. So let's love Liberia, think Liberia, and build Liberia. And
are we doing that?
So you just said love Liberia, think Liberia, and build Liberia. Now, what would I say?
Let me finish my question. Love Liberia, think Liberia, build Liberia. And pro-poor, which one of those two? You said pro-poor is a slogan. Which one of those two more something more united than the other?
Pro-poor.
For me, like I said, I suggest a pro-poor. I believe that when you say pro-poor for common prosperity, because those that have opportunity must be pro-poor. They must go down to the poor. They must be able to help the poor to lift the poor. Because when you lift the poor for common prosperity, all of us will prosper. But love Liberia, think Liberia, build Liberia for what?
Oh, okay, thank you.
You benefiting from Liberia. You ride the big car, you ride the private jet, you do everything. Then you tell me to love Liberia, think Liberia, and build Liberia. How will I build Liberia when you're not even thinking about me?
Thank you, MacArthur.
So I think it's that. It's not a good slogan. I can tell you, pro-poor is better than that. That whole concept about love Liberia, think Liberia, build Liberia. So what?
Thank you. So, guys, that's why Ernest. Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Thank you. I just noticed something. Someone special there on the mute button that they're muting people.
So, Mr. Arthur is telling us that love Liberia, think Liberia, build Liberia, which to me is calling on every Liberians to do, and it's not a slogan that unites people, but pro-poor. Even though they're saying pro-poor, but they are riding private jets, they are riding BB cars as well. They are building homes. They are bringing brother-in-law from other countries, taking our resources, taking their something. Those are more. Something Liberians more, it unite Liberia more than less think Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia. Sorry, what do you say to that? Because I'm confused here tonight.
Well,
I don't want to gain the back and forth with the pro-poor agenda, because from the vote, the pro-poor failed the Liberian people. The pro-poor only massively. And I mean,
was there a slogan of unity?
Make Mr. Well, I get in there much more. Make Mr. We are a billionaire today, and that of folks from the CDC. And I think I don't want to draw into that argument because there's a lot of things we can discuss when you talk about it from the economic perspective, social, everything you want to bring in when it comes to governance. But the issue about the purple, and I think Brother Archer have succeeded by getting off on the main topic, talking about the purple, the purple, and the arrest agenda, or love Liberia, build Liberia. I think those slogans should be more proactive in terms of what our people get, because saying it is one thing and achieving it is another thing. There's a lot of things the people talk about. Most of the things were not achieved. Talk about taking the people from poverty, right? On the average, you can read reports upon report. I think Brother Arthur is a very good researcher. You talk about the UNDP report. You talk about United States report. There are reports that we can reference here that talk about poverty being on the high peak during the Popo. And the Popo talk about, taking how many people? I think the minister said 1 million, or how many million people?
47.
No, 1 million people out of poverty. That was a target.
1 million out of people poverty, but the minister told all mistakenly that 28%, 27 million were taken out of poverty. But I don't know where the CDC sometimes they've been speaking from with all those dictats. So here's the thing. Whether the people did well, not did well, like I've already described the argument. Nobody can bring that argument here. The Liberian people already take them off. We don't have anything to call propo again. We got build Liberia, love Liberia, and the unique thing our president President Bouaga, when you talk about, he was sitting, you talk about thinking about Liberia, love Liberia, and building Liberia, in which I think they formulated in the arrest agenda. You talk about agriculture, rule of law, all those stuff. What I think, I cannot debate the argument that one is good or not, because you want to look at the time period with the arrest agenda, because it will be very, very unfair to say the propo was so good more than the proper agenda was so good more than the arrest agenda. You will not be doing fair conversation, except you want to attach.
No, sorry. The argument is that Mr. Arthur is saying that in other countries they have slogans, right, during elections that united the country. Proper to me is not a slogan to unite; it's an agenda that's something. But to Mr. Arthur, he says it's a slogan. But the rescue don't have none. So that's why I brought the slogan: love Liberia, think Liberia, build Liberia. So
no, sis, I said, I want me to correct 1 minute. So what I said was that when we suggested the slogan propo, there was an addition that even the government officials and other people did not follow. And that was when you say propo, the next person will say for common prosperity. You can just say propo for what? So think Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia for what? So it is a for what that the CDC did not prioritize, which we supported them. We even suggested to some people, but because maybe people just felt that we were not because some of us were in civil society and at the same time we're doing business, other things, they did not prioritize those things.
Thank you.
So we must be on the prioritize the slogan in the slogan. Love Liberia, think Liberia, build Liberia for what?
Yeah,
what the next person will say.
Conclude.
Thank you. That's how I conclude. Anthony, come in.
So I would coming in from this point of what have those two slogans do for Liberia? We talk about in line with governance. You can see all of these beautiful things, but effectuating it is one good thing. I think the argument here that we were having today was better. I thought took off from the propo and other things and arrest or love Liberia. It was about Thomas Fala. And my brother's question points when you talk about Thomas Fala, I want to bring us back to the conversation of Thomas Fala, right? We'll not go off it because that is the two unique topic we get on. The statement from Thomas Fala and that of the statement from Mika. So Thomas Fala has been one person, like I said, from a more political perspective, you will not want to like him and other politicians. But this brother is maintaining his circle of politicking. Thomas Fala has worked out of politics. You and myself can agree to that. Thomas Fala was one person who was just in land, on the playing field. When he graduated from that stage to being representative. And today, through his political maneuvering, he served, I think, 3 things in District 5 in Monserrato. When he left, he went to Lofa successfully. You think Thomas Father want to sit there with all of the information of things that he thinks from Lofa, he want to lose that ground? I said, no, I don't like it, but it's about maintaining himself, maintaining his self-interest when it comes to politics. I thought, but I'm not talking about when the CDC come back, they will do these things, they will do this. Come on. That brother will be in that circle. You even to talk about become representative. Like you said, like they are not stable. They will remain senator as well.
Thank you, sir.
We can talk about the issue about Snow. Snow left from Monserrato and went Lofa and became senator.
Bummy. So
Yes.
Anthony, you saw the video of Thomas for that, right? We played it 2 times already.
No, I was busy when you guys played, but if it's about people not supporting the Unity Party government statement, that's what
I said to the president. I said, Mr. President, for me, I'm not a Unity Party man, right? But this government, as long as I'm a Lofa man, I'm from Lofa County, and I'm a citizen, and I'm part of this government. I'd like for the record to state here, I support this government 100%. I support the president and his agenda. So someone was saying, Thomas Father we saw a few months ago, keep fire, yes, it's a keep fire. So let the message go, Lofa is one Lofa now. We're moving in one direction. We are moving in one direction, except someone want to convince me why we should not move in one direction. Because I was under the water, I was under the river, right? So I know the pictures are there. So you can tell me about the pictures that are under the creek. So I was once under that creek, right? Yeah. So if you want to bring that argument, we'll discuss it later.
So you guys can see me?
Yeah, I got the video.
Oh God! Every time I play this, I come back and get lost. But anyway, Anthony, go ahead. From what you just saw,
so let me start with
what do you think about what someone for that just said about supporting the government for the country to succeed? And do you think, metaphorically, I thought he was speaking from using metaphor, right? But people looking at it as he's calling Silesian creatures. Is that what you took from this video about watching how you thinking the same as me, which we don't normally think alike, but just said from there. I'll be back. Let me fix my stuff. You're muted.
Oh, I'm muted. Hello, can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Still can't hear you.
Then I had to go out and come back. I'll come back.
I think that me and Anthony Wayne's yelling today.
Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you, Anthony.
Oh, okay. Great. So, here's what I took from that. Thomas Father is a representative now from Lofa County. He's speaking to his constituents. Whether you want to make an argument, Thomas Father is calling sedition, whatever description you just gave it, I don't think so. Thomas Father is representing the people from Lofa County, from that district. And I don't think he's wrong as a politician. Look.
You can see me now?
Yeah, I can see you. I don't think Thomas Father is wrong by saying he will support the government. It's his choice, right? Would that be the case of every lawmaker to support the government? I don't think so. But I think if the government have an agenda that is people-centric, that is focused on the interests of the Liberian people, the government will get more support. May not be all of the people of Liberia, but they will get more support from the legislature and the rest of the Liberian people once that agenda is in the interest of the Liberian people. That's what I can say. Does that mean every lawmaker will vote for it? No. In politics, people seize the moment to shine. If you make mistake, your political opponent will capitalize on your mistake. It's just the sports, right? You're playing soccer and your defender blunder. You think the other team will sit there and say, oh, because I defended a mistake, I will not score the goal. You will score that goal. It's the same way in politics. If there is a loophole that your opponent presents for you, you will exploit it. I don't see what is wrong with that picture. Now, with the issue of slogan, not slogan. Look, folks, let's get to business here. Campaign time is long gone. Not slogan or slogan, that is not the point. The proper agenda for development and prosperity, as far as it looked on paper, they did not deliver. CDC did not deliver on that proper agenda for development and prosperity. Why? The executive summary, first of all, the proposal have 4 pillars. And the executive summary of that proposal clearly focus on agriculture. Agriculture being the bedrock of the economy of Liberia. That is your own document. People from CDC, that's what you promised the Liberian people. Guess what? Was agriculture the bedrock of the economy of George Weah? The answer is no.
I think somebody took the brother over. Somebody called him.
Can you guys hear me?
We hearing you.
I can't hear anybody.
You gotta
Yeah, we are
lock
hearing you.
on. You gotta lock on and lock in.
We are hearing you.
Probably when you play the, you gotta go on. Go on, come.
We are hearing you.
So you
Now
guys
you
can
are
take
off.
like
Yeah.
30 seconds around it. Somebody watch out.
Yeah. I think I don't know if I can just come in briefly because a lot of people are thinking that the concept I brought in of a slogan is just about political party. It's not about political party because I don't know. You guys are getting me? Yeah. So the concept of a slogan is to connect. When Thomas started what you call the rally time, all right, his rally time program was to tell everybody it's time to rally around. So they started the rally time program started from market building. They saw the rally time market and to playground, to the Cabral estate, to all the different estates that Toba was building. Those things were part of the rally time program. To the 4-hour rest development programs that Toba started, all those things were part of the rally time program. And in the rally time, it is where Talbot introduced what you call the from mat to mattress. And then he talked about total involvement for higher height. So if you tell a friend total involvement, the person will say for higher height because that slogan it connects that we are totally involved for higher height. So
Yeah,
the person
sorry,
doesn't
somebody
have to
was
be
calling
part
me.
of the, the person doesn't have to be part of the, the 2 week plan.
Let me conclude. Because total high thing here, you had 6 years. You didn't
No,
deliver.
but you understand what I'm saying. I just try to be clear today. Say you want
Yeah,
conclude.
we already understood that clarity.
You
Here's the
are
thing
your
here.
country wrong. I said national slogan is not important.
No.
America first in America then.
First of
So
all,
Donald Trump is not using that slogan as a national slogan.
Listen, before you argue your slogan, the man in Batawi need food on his table. The woman in Sano need food on her table. The picking who just woke up in
But that slogan will connect them.
Listen, before you talk slogan, right? Slogan, when Doe introduced the Green Revolution in Liberia, right? Or that little woman Bonsoyo thing. Little woman Bonsoyo thing did not put food on the table, but the Green Revolution put food on the table of the people. You understand? Listen, we gotta graduate from let's do this slogan. When you have an agenda, execute your agenda in the interest of the people. Right? CDC, copy and paste, something they never understood. The proper agenda was to copy and paste. Because if you understood that, you would use that to drive the economy of Liberia. Ivory Coast, our neighbor, the current national budget this year is 25.2 billion United States dollars, of which 65% of that money from agriculture. The same sum that shine in Liberia shines in Ivory Coast. The same rainfall in Africa, same rainfall in Liberia, same climate type. The difference? Execution, leadership is the difference. Burkina Faso, a landlocked country that don't have good rainfall like Liberia. They graduate now from importing onion. They graduate now from importing tomato. They graduate now from almost all the things that they consume that they used to import. They are exporting some of them now today. Why? Because they had put in mechanism to address those issues. Is everything rosy in Burkina Faso? No, they have challenges. But at least in 2 years' time, you can see the footprint, the foundation being laid. You understand? Let's come to this arrest agenda. Think Liberia, build Liberia, love Liberia. The arrest agenda, the rule of law, year 1 MCC scorecard, they flunk it. That's part of that thing. But they flunk MCC scorecard with the rule of law. The president has demonstrated that he does not respect the rule of law. President Bouakai has demonstrated that. We are seeing it from the Supreme Court ruling and to what they did. We saw it. Another thing that this administration have not done, this administration has not found her footing. Why? Every day they bring us something that they don't fully understand, but they get rolled out. Perfect example, asset recovery team. They roll it out without understanding the scope and the mechanism to get a job done.
In my life.
So last year they had $1,050,000 in the national budget for asset recovery. This year they got nada, zero, zip for asset recovery because the plan was not thoroughly thought of. They are operating this government as though they're working in the ER. People even in the ER, there's structure. Though they may not know the circumstances of an emergency situation they may have, but they have a protocol that they follow. The man who is bleeding profusely, the person who has headache, the one who is bleeding profusely, the person get looked at first before the one with the headache. It depends. Higher priority first. How can you roll out a national ID card program without thoroughly thinking?
Anthony, well, on the Thomas for that issue, we'll go into that next. You jump into our next conversation.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you guys had already discussed it. So okay, I won't talk about that. I already talked about the Thomas Fada thing. Thomas Fada spoke well. I didn't think he offended anybody. He representing people from Lofa County. He did what he did. Not everyone will support this administration, but I have to believe within myself, even if I were to be a lawmaker today and I see an agenda from the national administration that benefit the people of Liberia, I'll support it. It does not matter whether it comes from a party or not party, as long as it is in the interest of the people of Liberia. Because remember now, as a lawmaker, you don't only represent your constituent, you also represent the republic.
Absolutely.
So if the agenda of the national administration is in, there is the condition here, that agenda should be in the interest of the Liberian people. If it's not, I'm not going to support it. If it is, okay. Yes, we saw Ted Cruz that voted against everything the Democrat did. We saw Mitch McConnell on the day one. He said, "I wish Obama failed," publicly. He didn't hide it. Does that mean everything? Does that mean he's not patriotic? He's not a patriotic citizen of America.
Yeah,
that's his political desire. Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, same thing. He never supported anything Obama did. John McCain was a Republican, but he did support some things that Obama did. Again, if it's in the interest of the nation, as a lawmaker, if I were to be a lawmaker, I will forget about my political feelings and vote for it and champion it. Like I said on my podcast yesterday, if Senator Dillon is truly focused on reducing the salary, he should present that national legislation that you have. So we that have platform can promote that. We need to see the document first, read it, and see what is in there. You cannot say, "Oh, I want $5,000 salary reduction," without me reading the detail, the fine print. So
thank you.
These are things that these people are talking about that they want to do. They're not giving you perspective as to how they're going to do it. They're just talking.
Anthony, their whole salary reduction thing, the Senator Dillon just come up with it, or that was years ago?
If you have that documentation, my dear sister, please share it with me, because for years now, I have been wanting that documentation. I want to help Senator Dillon promote that argument. I want to be the mouthpiece for that argument. If you have that information, if you have connection with
my question, you forgot my question. The zeals that you got for this document today, when he proposed it before, that he was on fire for it, why didn't you create a podcast asking for you to support?
Trust me, Senator Dillon have blocked me. That's why I can't see Class Reloaded. I can't see anything.
You got a podcast now. You don't need Senator Dillon.
Hold on now. Listen, I inboxed him directly. Anthony Gate inboxed him directly. That's Senator Dillon. I want to get the copy. You have my email here. I want to be a spokesperson for you outside the Senate room, so I can promote this. We want to see it. Nothing. Amy, we don't come here to bash people because we want to bash them. 5,000 salary reduction is in the interest of the Liberian people. But where is the document? Where's the legislation? Should I just talk about it without me knowing what is in there? That is my challenge to Senator Dillon and all those that support him. Make it available, Senator Dillon. We will do the rest of the work for you. We will promote you. We will promote that document. That is the challenge before him.
Okay, thank you. So we're moving on, guys. We're moving on to the Anthony Ferris subject right now.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment quickly. I mean, while you're going ahead, I really love the energy for Anthony, but I think one thing he's trying to do is that he's actually on an uphill battle to believe that you can attack both the CDC and the Unity Party and bring ANC to limelight. I think it's a very impossible thing. He's just going down the hill. Yeah, he's just going down the hill.
We're getting one yellow machine.
Yeah, then a yellow machine
I can
all the
afford
way
it.
down.
I don't need a yellow machine.
We're getting one yellow machine to climb my
Yeah,
But
for
anyway.
$50,000.
Now ANC, Anthony, the ANC, the American project, he has already failed.
So we are moving on. Guys, last week, was it last week or 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, the president signed an executive order for national ID cards. And in that executive order, they was also saying that passport, I think passport wasn't considered as one to do your banking activities. You needed this national ID card to do everything. In that, in some countries like the US, sometimes when you need these things, when you don't have your state ID, your driver's license, sometimes if you have a passport on you, you can use it as the same, kind of like the same documentation, but you don't carry it around every day though. Passports for traveling, but at showing kids, you need to do something right there, and you don't have it on you. You have the passport, you can use it. So a lot of people had a, backlash as usual. People with some people just don't see anything good or anything that come out of the government or anything. They would, whether it's good or not, they would find something to it to talk about. So we all had a problem with that part of it. Like if you don't have it at that moment, I think you should be able to use your passport because it's kind of the same information on there. But the CBL, is that what it is? Yeah, CBL came out with this today that the Central Bank of Liberia is collaborating with the National Identification Registry has issued a directive request all commercial banks to relax the enforcement. It's supposed to be under enforcement or the usage of the national identification card as a prerequisite for all banking transactions. The National Identification Registry informed all public social service providers to take note and act in compliance with this directive. At the same time, the issuance of the national identification card is hereby suspended with immediate effect for administrative reason. So, guys, here we have it. Anthony, we just started on this, so we will start with you since you were already on fire with it. With this communication here, right? I understand. I agree with the part that you have to relax. There's something, but the suspension part, and you just tell me. I already know your input on it from the chat room, but tell the word. What do you think about this? And
so first and foremost, Amy, I am for national identification card. I'm against, or I think it is unnecessary. It's a waste of national resources for voter registration card. I've always said that. I think every Liberian should have the national ID card.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe. However, I think this rollout and the demand, the way in which they did it of recent, was poorly executed. Again, government is not an emergency room, my people. That's why you have all the different agency and ministries of government. That's why you have the layers of hierarchy we have. In economics, we talk about division of labor, right?
Mm-hmm.
This thing here, where our people already know our challenges, deficiency. But at times, they act as though they are forgotten. Amy, to get Liberian passport, only one location in the entire country, you can get the passport. Ministry of Foreign Affairs. No other place. The entire country. 5.6 million people according to the United Nations Census. Right? The NIR, the National Identification Registry thing they have. They don't have bureau everywhere in the country. It is not accessible to every county. There are infrastructure and logistics issue here. The road connectivities and the current weather condition of Liberia. All of those factors and those variables were not considered when the executive order was issued. Amy, I don't hate this government, but I also will hold this government accountable for various reasons. Number one, the current president served as vice president for 12 years. They had an opportunity to relax for 6 years, to retrospect what they could have done better when they were in power. Then he has the opportunity to come back to power. I think part of the reason why many people voted for him because they thought that he had already been there and understood the country better, so he would deliver. So the rookie mistake that other people who have never served in that kind of capacity may make, they will not make it. Some of the people judgment for which they supported him. Plus, he been in government for a long time. The name is a household name and all of that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for this government to be making these kind of mistakes, first and foremost, President offer issue an executive order, which is a superior documentation. It's become a law once he has fixed his signature automatically for 24 months.
Mm-hmm.
12 months, I'm sorry, 1 year. Then, two agencies of the administration, not from the executive mansion, two agencies came together with one of the agencies that is a spokesperson of the administration. We didn't see this coming from the press secretary. We didn't see that coming from the executive mansion. We see the communication coming from Mika. President executive order now be rescinded. Look, why it tells me that it display again the incompetence of this administration. Because before you roll such a thing out, the reason why the CBL is in the lead and working along with the NIR is because this thing is hurting the pocket. Let me put it in the layman. It's hurting the pocket of the CBL. Commercial banks are complaining. CBL that benefit from the commercial bank also is complaining. People can transact business because they see only national ID card they will take. They will not take passport. So economically, it affected this government. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, to run government is not an emergency room. You gotta think. You gotta look at all of the variables. I'm not saying they should not make mistakes, but this is it's a mistake that were already there. They could have seen it. How come they did not see this? That is my problem with this administration. Take your time. This is not a marathon. Assess the issue, evaluate it, think about it first, and slowly roll it out. Don't when you give an executive order one cut shot and say, without national ID card, you can translate between how many people today. Let's do that. Let's be fair here. There are more people with voter registration card in Liberia compared to national ID card. That's a reality. There are even more people with Liberian passport than the national ID card. That is another reality.
So, Anthony, do you think that the executive order being effected immediately was the problem here, or saying that
Yes,
people should have, because
the executive order, the way in which it was issued in a hurry. They did not think it through. Amy, I can tell you for a fact, this administration could have done better had it sat down, think about this thing throughout. But they are trying to impress the Liberian people. You already in power. Election not today, and not tomorrow, and not the next week. What is the hurry? What is the emergency here, my people? There's no emergency with the ID card thing right now.
The
So you
emergency
can
is
roll it out
everybody don't have
slowly
to say
and be
ID.
successful and get a credit instead of trying to, you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to impress upon the Liberian people that they're doing good. Amy, I don't care whether Anthony Gay like it or not, JMB was staying in office for 6 years.
Thank
Whether
you.
ANC like it or any other opposition party like it, CDC like it, this administration was staying in office for 6 years. So
Thank you.
where is the hurry?
Thank you,
That's my
Anthony.
question.
I don't think there's a hurry there. I agree with you if they would have thought it through, decentralizing and not having it one place and all of that. I agree with that part, but you just said they're trying to impress or hurry. I don't know about that. But Mr. Arthur, you want to come in on this?
Yes, like Anthony said, I think if you really look at the way the government is being run, you will get to understand that uh, the president, it almost seems as if to say the president is expressing himself. Because if you have advisors, and one thing that some of us who did not vote for this president, we did not expect this president to even have advisors because he was elected on the mantra that he had more than 40 some more years of experience in government or 25 years of experience in government. A lot of calculations were made. So before you can come out with some of these policies, you have to think about the infrastructure. I know the National Identification Registry, do they have the capacity to register people in a larger number, especially when it is a presidential order? And people knowing full well how this government has set up a very robust regime of implementation. You go when the government saying this, it's just brutality, no human feeling. The police move in, do whatsoever, no feeling. Beat motorball brothers, do everything. So people are even afraid that if you don't have the national ID card after August, the government may come out and say, if you walk in the street, you get national identification card. They may come out with policy. So people are afraid. So you see, the rush is there. Now, they only have few ID card printing machines at central office. And the reasons why, before we can come down to that letter and the violation of the executive order, the reason why some of us have problem with the system, why couldn't they hire a Liberian firm to manage? I'm not only talking about this government, from the Madam Selig time to the former president, we had time. We have not been able to manage our own data. The Indians managing our entire national data. And they call it either techno, they call it techno international, techno something. They're managing our own data. So when they get ready, they want to print, and they print. If the government owns small money, they will do. They will even, if you really look at this whole thing, it is like those people are demanding for some money, and they're not printing the ID card, they're not providing the data in time for the printing. So there's a delay, and Central Bank is looking at it for now to August, the rush that is there. They may not be able to get those ID cards printed and everything. So let them be able to suspend it and deal with the company before they can be able to come out with a better plan and have a very printing system all around the country. I will end up with this. If the president come out with a presidential order, all right, and that executive order, nobody, it becomes a law. That's one thing that we are not taking into consideration. If the president comes out that from this time to this time, this must happen, it becomes a law because it is an executive order. Except the legislature has some problem with it, and then they will be able to talk about amendment or
You don't
whatsoever.
think you can go back
But
to
if that,
if the infrastructure is not, like you said, is not there? Because, well, from what I heard is that the everything is in, I think, Monrovia, and
yeah, they have got to
they,
bring
they
the
don't
right for
have, yeah, they don't have some, and there's a lot of something. You want to have like 2 or 3%. You know, the human, capacity to get this thing done faster is not there. And so that's the thought process. What Anthony said, they did not think it through. I think those are the kind of something. So you don't think that it's prudent to have that executive order suspended because it's a law? If you have those challenges,
It should be suspended by the president's office. It should not be suspended by one acting minister. And I think that's where you now start to think about governance. If people are governing the right way, people know fully well. They say a lot of things about the past government incompetence. This is incompetence at the highest level. To have an executive order being repealed by an acting minister, do you know what you're talking about? How about the same thing that how you call her? The people are doing the executive action there, where the president signed an appointment letter. Then what her name? Corina will come out and say no, they will be able to bring the letter and put new people's name on the list. You know what it means? If a president is to do a list, they take people from that list and add people there. You usurping the function of the president. And I think that's what the acting minister did. He must be fired.
Mr. Arthur, what if this were this had the approval of the president to do so? Should the letter come from
No, the president does not.
Before we
No,
know
And the letter will come from the president's office now.
That's what
They
I'm
will come
saying.
from the president's office.
The letter should come from the president's office before we know that the president is in the know of this.
That's a procedure. And that's not to come from an acting minister.
Okay.
They must come from the minister of state. Even if the minister of state or the press secretary will know fully well that those offices are associated with the office of the president. But not from acting minister for information and then collaborating with National Identification Registry at the same time the central bank. I think it was a violation of our laws, and those people that are involved, if this government was a very serious government, actions will be taken by tomorrow morning or like yesterday.
Thank you. I think action will be taken if they're not in the know of it, but come on, be that. Let's hear from you. You're muted. You're still muted. Let me see.
Let somebody call it man phone. That formula made.
Hold on. Let me unmute you and see.
I disagree with that.
I think you're muted.
Yeah. You're unmuted now, and then in there he frozen. My man, that Boost Mobile you're using, you gotta switch up.
All right, from
Make a cricket network.
Tell you, my brother, he got T-Mobile.
Yeah, we hearing you now. You're on the cheapest plan, but go ahead.
Not really, Thank you so much, Man, stop it, man. Be serious on that. So, I mean, it's a good thing to come and discuss the issue. That I think government runs the way it runs. Sometimes we always say it's difficult to be in opposition. Sometimes you feel so energized about saying things out of the way. I think it's a fun. We all want it for Mama Liberia. So what is the responsibility of MICA? It is to inform the Liberian people about government policy. So there's nothing wrong about MICA running with the information. There's nothing wrong. I established that. Government is based on what? Constitution, collaboration. Are you putting executive order is law? On our constitution, executive order has consideration. It can be revoked. It can be amended. It can be reconsidered. What are you guys talking about?
And gave the condition under which it can be reconsidered and revoked.
Exhibit circumstances. Give me channel, brother. You're flowing.
But you need to let us know what are the conditions.
Law can be considered. Law is
get there.
So that means school. Let me school you guys a little bit. Law is reasoning. If the reasonability does not coincide with the lives with the people, then it has to be taken away. There's no law in our country that you and myself can talk about here now that is not in line with Liberians' daily life positively. If the president makes, I don't know what was the consultation. Like you asked me in the chat room, I said I don't know what was the consultation, and we need more detail as to how the suspension of this process was done. We need more information. I agree with you, because you know what? At the end of the day, Anthony or other sedition like Mr. Atos will come in and latch at the government, which is their right, because they does not have the kind of information that they are to get in duty that makes they hold on to this particular process. And I agree with when Anthony, you scratch your point about justice. You talk about capacity of the NRR when you talk about issuing this, because there are several complaints. I listened to the director out there, I think the deputy director on one of the platforms talking about they have some issue, which they think they have to hold on to this process, because there are people joking and saying there are people who, female carrying male image. Those are problems that they face. I mean, yeah, you know what?
So that is done
Yeah.
when they bring the stuff from other countries.
When they bring in the bag, you see Mary carrying Moses picture. So I mean, those are things, those are modalities that they actually need to welcome. Sometimes I get problem with someone how some of these things work, and people in government need to be sincere with our people.
Yeah.
And that is why about Liberia, I'm in support of every Liberian having national identification card, because even in these great United States, brother, you're not going anywhere. Firstly, even you meet up with the police and he's suspicious you about something, he has to ask for your identity and ask, who are you? Can you please show me your identity? I mean, it is good that you have identity as Liberian, because anywhere you go, you may be identified when you enter the trouble. But the process, the way in which the process is done, we have to look at a lot of things, economic constraint and the time thing. Because when you talk about executive order, it take effect immediately. It gave it a time frame where for me, I thought the government should have gave more time to Liberian. When you talk about giving this article, because there are a lot of people who cannot even afford the $5 to get the article, and the time frame as well, because decentralization is not taking place. Now, Anthony scratched a very good point here. If to say this identification cuts or the process is in all of those countries, then we can sit the back the argument but this is part of all over in the 15 region, right? In the 15 country. Then we can say the time frame is necessary. But I think they have to look at the time frame. And when some of these policies has been, and you try to make it up, you have to sit down keenly to look at various modality and factors that lead to the progress of it. So I think that I'm gonna talk on this issue.
Mr. Farmer,
even though you don't want to agree that the government erred by
Anthony, just keep it. The government did not err. Just keep it. The government did not err.
With the process, yeah, they were.
You know, it is easier. It's always easier when people sit outside the checkerboard to tell people who play in the game how you can give 1 C and eat 10 C. Government is not like checker.
Okay.
So, Anthony, you have never been in government before. You have never won this.
To do with me, my man.
Wait a minute,
Anthony,
stop interrupting your friend. And you always doing that. You have never worked in government before. And my people, actor, I feel for him sometimes, because if he wake up and say, "Oh, acting minister go sign on a paper and rescinding the order of the president," that show gross incompetence and thing. Bro, Anthony, man. Me say, bro, Anthony, actor. And Arthur and Anthony are seeing cousin and nephew. So you see how you guys can look at the rudimentary of government, and you'll be thinking that government is just a susu club, somebody running where when somebody eat, and you be fighting the other person to pull you on the susu so you can eat next week. No, this thing is a organized process. That's the reason why the Ministry of Information is the arm of government that is responsible to disseminate the government information. So that minister that gave out the information was not doing it on his own volition. That's the reason why he was quoting. He said the central bank. Read the information up there. The central, you're not saying only that I don't want writing. They say all the assistant minister say you must stop the thing here. Let the thing here read up here. Let's read a particular thing here that English he put it in. It was not written in vernacular. He said the Central Bank of Liberia, in collaboration with the National Identification Registry, has issued a directive requesting all commercial banks to relax the enforcement on the usage of the National Identification Card as a prerequisite for all banking transactions. The National Identification Registry informs all public social service provider to take note and act in compliance with the directive. At the same time, the issuance of the national identification cards is hereby suspended with immediate effect for administrative reasons. The public will be informed of the date of resumption of the mass enrollment. Signed, the Assistant Minister. Simple English there. I think that's so. So it is the arm of government that gave information on behalf of the government. So the information ministry is the mouthpiece of the government. So it was the same government that gave the information out to the people. And more besides, let's go to this point. Because this not started when I listened to Representative Moma Dix. She raised an argument that this process should even be free because voting cards are given free. The people not know because instead of voting card are given free for people to vote for all, but identification card should be free.
There's
So
a
I
budget,
look,
right?
um,
There's a budget for a voting process, right?
No, the
But
World
I
Bank
don't
gave Liberia $30 million for this particular process.
I
There's a
know
documentation
that
to
Mama this was just saying that, but I certain things I don't really wanted to go too hard on her because people will say, "Oh, that gender business and things," and so I gotta let it go. Now, many things you don't understand, and you know, so we just forget about it. Like the kind of people will put in the house.
So
of legislature.
address the issue of the rollout.
So wait a minute now. Wait a minute, Anthony. Don't tell me what to address. I come into you. People said that it is a bad thing for the government to give this process to our database to be controlled by Indians. People say it is bad. AT&T, T-Mobile that runs that electronic that run in America here, are they not subcontracting some of the processes that many of the processes with Indians?
Absolutely.
No,
You
no,
know
no,
that.
hold on. Let me help you. No,
wait a
let me
minute,
help you
Anthony.
because I'm in
I am
that
not going
field.
back and forth
Let
with
him
you on
finish.
that.
America
Let me-
will
let me-
never get a national registry with an ID card or passport to be outsourced. Never. Don't even try.
But that is kind of a nation. You can say you'll give it out. Never. America would never do that. They'll subcontract you to do certain role, but you can't play the
That's
American role.
it,
Manage
man.
the data.
Do
That's
you
that.
have the capacity? Do you? Okay, well, let's get qualification. Sure, Mr. Adol, do you know how to face that ID card? Do you know it? Do you know how to?
competent Liberian today
Hey,
in that
let
country?
him finish,
Competent
man.
Liberian
No,
today in
but
that country.
I
You can
can't.
perform that act. Are you
There are
kidding
more
me?
Nigerians that can do that thing.
No.
All around the world.
It is not.
Finish.
You guys will have to just mute yourself.
You need to mute and start interrupting. Family. He didn't interrupt you. Go ahead.
You know, the opposition always, you know, people in opposition always get an energy. And
Getting a
that's
feedback.
how-
I don't know. If you're Amy, I don't know. Sorry, brother.
because they guys are not muting themselves. That's why. Like, Adol,
I dropped the mute. Let me see.
that's him. So you see, we cannot always be yelling here and there when it comes to you know how governments will proceed. Look, we don't have people. We don't have people that have the technical know-how of how this particular process. Anthony, you say now what I'm mooning your face here and there. You do not know the process involved in making no article and saving database. So I'm not even sticking the argument on you. If the Liberians in Liberia think that they have the ability to do that, they will have, the government will outsource it. Look, we are saying that this process was not done correctly, and that's the reason why this government listened. With immediate effect, the government put heart to it, and they say for administrative reasons, we'll go back and do the corrective thing and correct the process. The government listened. Look, unlike the other people are going to say let the thing go. If you like it, you not like it, it's like a business. But this government say, okay, stop the process. We noted that there's some error. Let's go back and fix it and do it in a different form. Like everybody talk about decentralization of this process is necessary. It's okay because you can have everybody, the entire country coming to Monrovia or coming to Monserrado to come and get our national identification ID card. And it is too much of a burden on them. So we agree that this process should be halted and we should go back to the drawing board and mitigate some of these problems that we have already so that we will have the process done in a smooth manner. Like I've always said, just as they did the county meet, they put the entire county into Zoom. We can do that too, and have people move in Zoom or blocks so that they can do this process. But in the country now, we're moving, Liberia have not reached to the level yet where we will have a complete digital system that people can stay at any point and easily get access to logging in and doing that process without running to a center to go do that. We have not reached that level yet. And don't think that anybody going to come to government and do that on abroad circumstances. It's not going to work like that. But are there ways that we can manage this and put it up to a process where we can go up gradually? Yes. Look, the Indians, when it comes to technology, the Indians are one of the best in the field. Do we have people that the Indians can train? Yes. Liberia can learn from that.
If you don't know, Famuda, don't talk about some of the things. I'm so embarrassed for you to say this kind of thing. Famuda, do you know the capability of most Liberians? Don't do
How many
that.
Liberians that you know that into tech?
Are you
Like-
kidding me?
how many Liberians that you know?
Please. We got Liberians who are engineers.
Anthony,
We got Liberians
how many
who are
Liberians do you
cybersecurity
know that can
experts,
do this
that got
job?
master degree in cybersecurity? Plenty
Look at
Liberians. Are you kidding me? Do you know
Look,
why
Anthony,
for your
Anthony, it's just
that
easier
to be
for us to
foreigner,
put blame
that's a
on the
national
government.
security risk. Are you kidding me? What
It's
are you
easier for us to
talking?
put blame on the government, but we don't have enough Liberians that have the
Who
ability
told you that?
to
We
do
do.
it.
You know why? They don't
I'm
value
not going
them.
back
That's
and
the
forth with
reason
you
why.
on
They
that.
don't
It's
value
easier
them.
for you to say it. It's easier
They
for
don't
you
value
to say
them.
it because you own the opposition black, because you want to
Forget
pin the
about
government to
look,
look up
look.
it.
Forget about.
That
I
is
just told
exactly
you
what
here,
you want to
if the
do.
government.
But I am not going to go that route with you because
Yes.
that's all you go at. You get make
But
noise
thank you,
around
Papa.
here and you don't have no solution. You're not offering solution. If there are Liberians who can do this and they apply for it, I know that the government will give them it. And
Thank
look,
you, Papa.
let me give quickly. Give me 5 minutes. Like how there are companies that are 5 seconds.
minutes.
Give me 5 seconds. There are companies that are subcontracted by Ashland Metal that bring in workers or labor or workforce in a thousand to work for them because the company Ashland Metal knows that those company have the ability to give them the workforce that they need to do the work they are hiring for. So if there are companies and there are Liberians that have the ability to do that up to that capacity, this is a national something you're talking about here. This is not a school ID card. You think about
Thank
school
you.
ID card, there's so many
Okay,
computer buzzing
Famula,
where I
you
can do
missing
school ID
apple
card.
and oranges.
Thank you.
ArcelorMittal, Amy,
So,
please tell us a second. Yeah,
Anthony,
ArcelorMittal still been in Liberia for
Eh,
20 years. If
Anthony,
our government official
are
and
just-
lawmaker
you
would
are
have
just,
sat down
a
to
noise
check a
maker.
deal where they can train Liberian in 5 years period for Liberian to assume certain role today. In 5 years, you can train them to be a hydraulic engineer. You can train them any other position in 5 years.
Anthony,
ArcelorMittal still
thank
been
you.
in Liberia for 20 years, bro. What are you talking about?
Thank you, Anthony. So on this topic, I don't think we are talking about hydraulic machine. We're talking about national
Just throw a
identification
light on
card,
that. The reason why
which is needed now. And I think I don't know what's the big deal that we're saying that our government don't value our people for what for national identification card as if it's something else. Yes, they can train the people while they are using these people who already know what they're doing. They can train them the next time, or people as people going on, they let the Liberians to do it. But if they started something now,
Error in saying you
then
get
why
like
would you say that
we have
they don't care for
trained
it?
people who are
Anthony,
digital
can you please
experts.
mute?
where are
You
they?
gotta stop
You
doing
living
this.
in your house. Now only in Anthony house they living.
Just stop doing this. So if you have people already doing it that they put it in, I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? What is the Indian gonna do with somebody's name and something from Liberia? Well, how many bank account they got that they're gonna go in there to do what? To
Are
fraud
you
them,
kidding me,
defraud them,
Amy?
to do what? I mean, what is it when you are doing your registration for what? What did they need? Voter registration card. Who did it? Was it Liberians? That the former administration gave the contractor? Was it Liberian who did that? I mean, if it was Liberian who did that, maybe they could be the same people to do the national something card. But if it wasn't Liberian, why is the national registration card have to do with or national state ID? I will call it. What does it have to do with somebody doing it now because our Liberians don't have the capability or whatever to do it and I don't know. We should talk about the process, maybe the decentralizing and how the human capacity to do that to get the job done. Yes, those process that were not well thought of. We can talk about those things, But to say, oh, the government should have given it to Liberia and something, and you don't know that for sure. You just said it on this platform saying that they are there, but you don't know how many are there to do those jobs. So we cannot make it sound like it's a fact that the government know these people are there, they are trained for it and something, and then they don't want to give it to them. They're giving it to Indian people. This is something new entering in our country, isn't it? Has
Digital
somebody done
imaging
this
is now
before?
new. It's not new information technology article courses. Digital imaging. We got Liberian.
Has it been done in Liberia
What are you
before?
talking about, man? Y'all stop doing that kind
Has
of thing.
it
Why are
been
you
done?
limiting Liberians?
Please stop disturbing and listen to the question. Has it been done in Liberia before?
First of all, Amy, let me get
Yes
to this.
or no?
Right?
Has
No,
it been
hold
done
on. Let
in
me answer
Liberia
your question.
before?
Let me answer your question.
No, because I said it's new. You say it's not new there. So I'm asking you
Listen,
now.
let me get to this
Has
here.
it been done in Liberia before?
We have no empirical
The
facts
national,
on
the
anything
national
that any
ID card, we have
Liberian know
had
how to
national
do
ID
Yeah,
card
get a
before.
brother
Yes,
attention.
that nature.
we have had national ID card before. 1980, there was national ID card.
Okay,
1985,
so
there
the
was
way they're
national ID card. What
doing
are you
it
talking
now
about?
with
My parents had
fingerprint,
it.
digital last name, all of it. Was it
So
done in the
digital life,
80s?
it's not a so complicated thing that cannot be done, and
Was
people
it
can learn
done
it.
like that in the 80s?
And we got Liberian what digital imaging expert right now. You can say that we don't have them.
Do you have them there?
First of all, Amy, you must trust your people. You must trust your people.
Make it so noisy if you do that. Don't do it. Wait for my question.
But you ask
Do
questions, I
you
gotta
have-
respond to this.
No,
Making it so noisy.
you're not waiting for me to land with my question. You're just making it like we over talking
You
each
have
other.
already asked this question.
Will you just stop and listen, or can we move on? Because I'm not here to. It's making the show look bad. Because if people who listening, it's not a good thing for. Listen for my question, and I'll let you to answer. That's what I'm saying. Is that okay? So,
But I don't
like
blame
saying,
you.
I don't. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't even know. Now my question saying that made me to forget. I was about to ask you: was there people, a group of Liberians that in the country who knows about this process and they applied for it, and they did not give it to them to do the job? They took it and gave it to Indian people. You, Anthony, know that for a fact, and you have a record of that.
So here's the thing, Amy. They don't necessarily have to be in Liberia right now, but we have Liberians who are capable of getting the job done. The country can take them to Liberia so they can get a job done. We don't need this information to be in the hands of foreigners. This is a national security issue.
Oh, so you mean to outsource them from other?
It's not
from the
outsourcing. You bring
diaspora?
your own citizen home. That's not outsourced.
From the diaspora.
From
to-
diaspora,
okay.
yeah, we have competent
tell you
Liberian
about
diaspora that can get a job
Liberia.
done. If we don't have any in Liberia,
Amy, give me 5 seconds.
This-
Because what
that's-
Anthony
that's
saying doesn't
national
even make
law.
sense. Why will we take Liberians from outside and bring them to the country if they themselves did not apply for it? If a Liberian is outside and knows how to do this work, and when the process of when the information, because I know this information came out that the government was look, the government did not just take this from the National Identification Registry, did not just hire or did not just give this contract to a foreign company, because they have to look, the government have to do a due diligence to look within a cycle to see whether there are Liberians who can do this work and that have the technical machinery, because all of the equipment, because there are some security features and other things that is attached to this particular thing, are they able to do it? So the
There's
National
two things to
Registry,
talk about. Purchasing the equipment, the government have to purchase the equipment. The execution of the work, the individual have to execute it, because this is government product. You can't buy your personal machine to do the work for government. Government purchase the machine, government have it. The security features are there, the government implement the security feature. The people who will get a job done, get a job done. Again, to suggest on this show that we do not have competent Liberians to get this job done, it is what I frown upon. We
In
do have
Liberia.
competent- They don't necessarily have to be
look,
in
that's a
Liberia today.
mischaracterization, because you are
We
very
don't
good at
necessarily have to
misconstruing
be in
people.
Liberia today.
Look, let me finish my
Digital
5 seconds,
imaging
please,
is,
Anthony.
of course,
Let me finish my 5
information
seconds.
Well,
technology
Elaine.
that people can learn.
It's still getting
Digital
noisy.
imaging is a course in I call graphic designing and digital imaging. All of those things are information technology courses, and we have Liberians who are experts in this field. All this
That's
government
Anthony.
needs to do is to tap into the expertise of diaspora Liberian. They
Thank
don't
you,
necessarily
Anthony.
have to be in the country today.
The reason why I'm saying that people, when I said that, I meant people in Liberia. I don't see how many times the government, whenever they're hiring to get something, I don't see how many times they're putting something on the website for Liberian in the diaspora to come from there to go do it. I never seen that. So when I'm talking about Liberians,
Look,
being in the country is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about no Liberian has the technical know-how. That's not what we're saying here. We know a lot of Liberians here that know how to do those jobs, but not that. So don't misquote us by going telling the public, oh, for you to say that no Liberian, no, don't do that.
But the
That's not
goal
what we're
here,
doing.
Amy,
You
is for
just
to
make
be
that. Let me
effective
finish.
and
Oh my
efficient.
gosh, I don't like when you do this. Let's do it one at a time.
I see you, yeah. Yeah, bye-bye.
You were
Enjoy
here.
your
Yeah,
show.
man.
Oh,
Then go get your own podcast.
so
I don't know
like,
what kind of podcast you get over there.
why are you making noise? The man go on. So like, for you to say that no Liberian, somebody saying that no Liberian have the
Yeah,
technical
because
know how to do
this
that.
shit
That
make
is
noise all day.
misleading the people. Why we're still saying here? You trying to make it look like we said something different? No.
Look,
we
Amy,
still have
give me my
people
5
in-
seconds, man. Let me end my 5 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead. So we can have.
That's the reason these lazy guys will keep going down. That's a kind of for people then that maybe Mr. Cummings is very unpopular because he leaves the issue and go on different things. Why will you sit on the show and misconstrue people on the show as if we have already left the show? Nobody told you that they are not competent Liberians that can do it.
When they're trying to correct.
But you get because you already have your notion that they are competent Liberians outside and that can do their job, but they leave it. Why do you think that this government is absent-minded? That they will not do that due diligence, they will not look within a circle and before they outsource this to somebody who have the track record, who have all the sophistication to do what.
So I can. Yeah.
You got something to say, brother? So we got one last topic here to just chime in and we do our closing. We'll not run on it too much and do our closing. It was the same. Let's go back to it.
I don't know that your headphone you're using.
I think you have to disconnect something. The feedback.
Your headphone you're using the feedback too bad.
Is that a Bluetooth?
I think that is I don't know what you're using over there.
Yeah, too. I don't know if this is a ring.
Okay. Oh no.
I think you gotta disconnect it a little bit. Yeah, the feedback for it.
Yeah, but it's raining. It's also raining. Yeah.
Okay, then I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's a little bit okay.
I just wanted to say something quickly on this whole thing about how can we go outside of the country. You know, the reason why Rwanda is successful is because when Paul Kagame took over, he realized that majority of the young people or most of the people in Rwanda, they have very bad work ethics. And they were not systematic, they were not following a lot of details. So Paul Kagame set up a system where anything that they needed to do, if it is construction, if it is anything cybersecurity, he makes sure the first priority will be for companies that are Rwandan related outside the country that are managed by Rwandan. We encourage your companies to come in the country to be able to do the work. If you can find any Rwandan company all over the world to do that infrastructure, it is construction, technology, whatsoever, then you can outsource it to different people. But you know you can find a Rwandan that can do it any part of the world. You make sure you come in the country, establish a company, and that's the reason why the Rwandans are taking over the economy. But to say that you're not going to give a Liberian, you just give it an Indian. Let me tell you, our end of the process, Emmy. Do you know the power of the fingerprint?
Yeah.
Those guys, they have all our fingerprints. It means that we can be able to create anything about us. And in the future, we'll go anywhere, they will indict all of us and say, we don't want to get it because our fingerprint is part of it. It's part of the document. That kind of sensitive document, I don't think India should manage it. I think we have to think about that.
Yeah.
All right, well taken. Go
Can I
ahead,
come
be
in?
like you go. Yeah.
Yeah, quickly before we end on this note, I just want us to acknowledge the fact that there has been a problem in Liberia. And I mean, I want to disagree that these kind of processes should be given to foreign nationals because you're talking about a database of our country, and not only the national identification card, but we have many things in Liberia. You talk about a passport being given to foreign company to do some of these jobs. And I think I want to clarify something as well. There's a competitive bidding process or competitive process when it comes to government giving project out there to company. You got Liberian own company coming. I mean, there's a whole process of competition. You come if you got the capability, the capacity. It is not just about the expertise, right?
Mhm.
But you have to get the capacity to do that. And I think when I listen to the press, the press, I think the director of communication at that entity, then during the CDC like government, he said there was a competitive bidding process that which you have to have company coming, Liberian own company and
Mhm.
other company, and they apply for the process of because it is not this, it did not start with this administration. Like I acknowledge that. I think Brother Arthur said that there was a process of which people came to apply to get this projects going on. So if you come, the government think in your mind you do not have the right capacity to carry on the project, they will not carry it. You have to be qualified to carry the project on. I think it is a good thing to empower our own Liberian. And Anthony scratched your point, but sometimes the brother don't want people to have conversation. So sometimes people don't get his point. When you talk about government bringing machine to get Liberian experts from out or where part of the world to bring them and do it, I think that's a good thing too. To
Mhm.
manage our own data. It's a good thing to empower Liberian, whether through giving them project or other means. But I think we should acknowledge the fact that they did not have some Liberian company they're not up to standard as to some foreign company. That doesn't mean they can't do the job. But you have to look at all the modalities and factors to getting the job done. It's a good thing to get an idea, but you don't have the machine. You don't have the building. You don't have there are some things, and you and myself can talk about it now. If you don't have that, most definitely you'll not be qualified for it. I think we should acknowledge that. And I don't agree that we don't have Liberian that can do that job, but you have to look at these factors.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
they got plenty of
Yeah.
Liberians. It's just that, and that's what we try to acknowledge, but he won't even let you land. And when you say hold on and you get in your feelings, and on these shows, like sometimes it's just so embarrassing that we're all grown. We come at just someone say, "Oh, after I land my question or after I told you," said because it's when we all talking over each other, is not people who are listening. It's not they're not getting the message right. All they're hearing is noise, So for someone to be getting feelings for that is unfortunate. But anyways, we'll move on. You cannot.
Have to do with Unity Party. It doesn't have to do with any affiliate. As a matter of fact, I still condemn the two base political parties. Because we who are personally seditious, we just fail the Liberian people. I remember I want you to remember when George Weah was elected, all 14 counties voted for him. 14. The only one that did not vote for him was Lofa, because Waikara came from there. But this election that CDC lost, how can you put an old man and a young man together, and the old man who can barely walk defeat a young energetic man? There must be a reason. So the Liberian people.
Yes, guys. So today I don't know what's going on with the CDC something today, but I was trying to pull his statement up here, but I don't know. My phone is not cooperating after that video.
The way Arthur playing stars here, not easy, not small star in playing.
Yeah, but I thought you turn around.
Yeah.
What, is it frozen or what?
It's
look like-
probably the rain.
It looks
Yeah,
like he's
it's fine.
frozen.
It's falling.
Raining heavily there.
I
So
think
this is a CDC Senator Chris Tom Duncan. Giving us some revelation here. So, he went off.
Mm-hmm.
So watching that something, I try to put a communication and whole speech up, but I can't get it. The internet is not allowing me. So watching that, I think what we wanted to talk about is the whole revelation about the CDC and some of the people admitting to some of the faults that CDC had. Should we? I mean, from what we just saw from the Thomas for that issue story from till this one, what are you getting from this? Is there something wrong that he's saying here? Because I know somehow CDC better will be beating him up because in Liberia you can't be with a party and be honest about something, right? And like Representative Fada, what he called himself, I'm not a UPIS. Who knows? Because he still has CDC in mind, right? But now he's, because of what he said, using this metaphor of being under the water, and you know the creatures, oh, he calling us creatures. He should be crucified. You know. So with this, with Senator Duncan saying that, what do you think this sedition formula? Looking at this clip or there's something. What do you think they're seeing, or what is going on in the CDC camp?
This is a clear revelation that the CDC-led government was a bunch of kleptocrats. They was very, very incompetent, and the level of ineptitude and maladroitness was very clear and visible. So the Liberian people could feel that they cannot be trusted. When the leader lacks the trust of the Liberian people, he had a controversial political death, and even on the day of judgment, his body will not resurrect. Look, President Weah betrayed the trust of so many ordinary Liberians for the fact that so many Liberians saw in President Weah the humbleness of his beginnings. You know, like I've always said to people, I had my beginnings from Valtown, that was not far from Gibraltar, where Josh Weah, in his early days, started most of his after Grand Crew and coming to Liberia, coming to Monrovia, he was in Gibraltar, and I still remember he had him. There was a monument right over there built for him. So everybody saw this boy from the slums and ghetto and say, "Oh yeah, this is one of us." And you know, he came from this humble beginning. So with him being out there on the national stage, he will restore hope for the ordinary people. But to our utmost surprise, we've been hearing this little noise about his incompetence, his extravagant lifestyle, but we did not see it because, you know, the man who always think that he's not given a chance to be on the field, he always on the bench say, "Oh, the reason why the team not progressing is because the coach not putting me on the field." So they put him on the field now for him to go play on that field now. That he was seeing that he starts scoring on his set. The first thing President Weah started doing is to break down his
But
resident.
Formula, what the senator is saying, is this something new that other people have said and they do not?
New. Everything is hanging on President Weah. They may just try to tell you that this young man came and the election that brought him to power gave him 14 out of the 15 counties voted for this young man, and only one county voted for the old man, according to the election results. We don't know whether the election results were accurate, but the United Party then accepted it because this was exactly what Manasseh Lee wanted. So everything went, we said 14 county voted for Josh Weah. He's a young man. This is the time for the young people. Behold, this is our time. But guess what? When the president took over and put self-aggrandizement first, put his selfish interest first, breaking down his homes, building condominiums, and then the people who said, "Oh, this boy was one of us, we thought he from Gibraltar," and then his friends, a minister started posting pictures of him wearing watches and shoes, and the ordinary people cannot find their way through. They say, "Oh, was this the right decision?" So these are just revelation. We know that it will in fact, this is just the beginning, Amy. Take this and keep the same formula says this on my show, that there will come a time, the time is coming, that many of the seditions will say, "Oh yes, it was better that this old man came in this direct time, because they can see now in this old man that he's not here for his personal glorification, his personal enrichment. This old man is not traveling to go see girlfriends. This old man is not after material wealth. This old man is not after, putting a feeder roads to girlfriend house and giving girlfriend an extravagant vacation and other things. Then no. So this old man is just there to set the foundation. President Boubacar has said it over and over. No matter what anybody wants, we must build and develop this country. Whether you like it or not, Liberia must be on a path for prosperity. And that's it. In fact, the latest message when the old man came back on his recent trip, the first thing he said peace. He said peace and prosperity. That was what I captured from everything he said. As soon as he said peace and prosperity, I said everything he has said has always aligned with his slogan. Let us think Liberia, let us love Liberia, and let us together build a prosperous and just society. So we can see here today that the old man is doing everything in his power to make Liberia great again. We can find our own slogan, let's make Liberia great again. But this making Liberia great again is a unanimous something that all of us, Thomas Ford already said it, the CVC men are saying it, let's make Liberia great again. So he said, I'm a Liberian first, and I'm from Lofa, and I want the president to succeed. It's all helping to make Liberia great. Thank you.
Suare, do you see this? Because some people are saying, oh, maybe this brother trying to cross over. He's trying to go to the ruling party and something. Is that what you're seeing here? Or you think he's just being honest and now things that they couldn't say when the CDC were, ruling the country and stuff, they're finding it comfortable now to say? Or you think he's saying it because he want to move over to the other side? What do you think?
Yeah, political transition is something you can't erase on our political spectrum. You see politicians making all sort of statement, but who knows? But I mean, there are faith in himself. From just the video I watched, it's validated the argument and the eligibility of Liberian vote and people yearning for change by them. And you can't erase the fact that there's a lot of opportunity that the then CDC like government had. They squander most of the opportunity. Looking at how they were, that young government, people thought in their mind that there is a man who have never served in government. He does not have anything on him because corruption and all the thinking. I think he just validated the argument, but sometimes people don't forget to know again, like you said, people have email justice when they're making some of these statements. Who knows that he wants to apologize for voting or being part of the CDC? Or who knows he's the regular citizen who been speaking, because Gregor Duncan, I don't think he's one person who actually been speaking on issues that have to do with failure of the CDC. So I don't know the better man. I don't know where he's aiming at, but I know citizen who been speaking. You talk about that. So Lester Tennant, there's one man who criticized the CDC consistently until he resigned. You talk about folks that are in the CDC and people saw them as enemy at a certain point in time, right? So there are folks we can point out that criticize the CDC. I don't want to be judgmental. I don't know his email agenda, because politicians, they are very, very tactical. They know, and don't forget about that. We're talking about a senator. They better want development now. There are a lot of people, you see them flip-flopping because of certain reason. Talk about the Lazarus Zopenu. You talk about some other politician now. You must second sit on the platform and then talk about how they have flip-flopped over the last brother Snows. I mean, there are a lot of politicians out there. They want to be very tactical how they play that game. But it's a clear fact. There's no argument about the CDC failure, right? Because if the CDC did not fail the Liberian people, why did Liberian people get them out?
Well, according to some of them, because of lies.
They will ask you why we did not maintain your in power. You might answer that question, right? So I mean, the senator has a right to transition, which nobody might get me wrong here. He want to transition the way in which is to. That's fine. But I say easy feel. There's no argument about that.
Thank you for that. So you guys, I don't know if we should send him for call, but usually
Yeah,
people
let's try. Yeah, you know somebody complaining last time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, let's do it. So we're gonna give you the chance. Whoever wants to call in and chime in the conversation. The number is 267-586-5479. It's right across the stream. It's 267-586-5479. If you want to make your point on these topics, you can call that number. Yeah, for more, you want to formula?
Formula is busy looking or something.
While we, I know. While we waiting, can you you want to take 30 seconds on there? If not, we can just, when no calls, we can just close. You're muted.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your platform tonight, and it's always a pleasure to be here.
Our platform.
All right, our platform. Thank you for sharing your platform with us. And you know, Liberia is an interesting country, and Liberians are a special set of people, very unique in their own ways. And you see, we have GSM companies in our country that control our data, all our information, that they even went all around getting our fingerprint, getting our entire bio data. They are in the hands of foreign GSM company not owned by Liberian. But people sitting on the platform saying, "Oh, we outsource."
Okay, I got a call. Let me answer the question. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you calling us from?
Good evening. This is Alfred Ponowa Sr., and I joined the conversation from my house here in Waterloo, Iowa.
Okay. Let us know what's on your mind.
Well, I've been following the conversation very, very closely, and I just want to say this. The issue about the NIR, I think it's a very serious issue.
Mm-hmm.
My concern about this whole thing here, I remember 2019, under the Georgia administration, they also talk about this issue of national registration. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was in Liberia. I went and I paid and I got my national registration ID card. I still have it here today. So with this government picking up from where Georgia administration stopped, there are a few concerns that I have. What was the success under the George Weah administration? Was the George Weah administration successful in the process of registering everybody to have a national registration card? If they did so, what was the assessment? Because this issue has got to do with national security. And so for the government to outsource the Liberian people to other people that they don't know, I think is concerning. Mm-hmm. And that is the reason why I believe the government has put stop to the process. But then again, we need to ask ourselves, this thing about Liberia doing knee-jerk something all the time. All of the time we will have mistakes. All of the time in our governing process. One person will just get all this, okay, then we'll do everybody start running with it. They will not do any assessment. So we need to know whether there was any challenges under the Weah administration when they started the process. Because I have a national ID card that I got from the NIR in 2019. So what was the challenges that George Weah administration faced that they were not able to complete the process?
Was it digital?
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry that I can't come on now to show you guys. I have it right here with me.
Okay.
I have it right here. So what were the challenges that George Weah administration had that they were not able to complete that process? The government did not tell us anything. There is no education surrounding this national registration ID card process. No education. The government just got and pass a mandate that everybody should get it. There should be some level of education regarding the national registration card to our people, because this has has never happened before in our country. You know, it's something that was started under the Georgia administration, but it was not completed.
Alfred, do you think they need to educate our people to go and take IDs, or the people who are doing the work, or the one who's supposed to be educated?
I mean, the government need to be transparent to educate our people. Number one, on the reason why we need to have the national registration card.
Okay.
Number two, Liberia is going to undertake the project. The government need to be transparent to come and say, okay, we want the best mind in Liberia and outside Liberia to undertake the project, because this project is going to last from this time to this time. By this time, we want everybody in Liberia to have a national registration card that they will use for all the different government processes, whether it is for passport, whether it's for birth certificate, everything that has to do with government, because we are now transitioning from the old traditional way of doing things to digital. The government want to go digital. That's why they are producing national ID card, right? So they have to make sure to be transparent to explain to our Liberian people that, look, this is where we want to go. This is the vision. This is how we want to do it.
So, Alfred,
yes,
like some panelists, like Anthony, well, you know, suggested that the government needed to take Liberians from out of Liberia to come in and do the job, because they have Liberians here in the diaspora that knows about these something. Don't you think it will be a problem for Liberians on the ground for to, you know, be saying that, oh, the government left people here and they're taking people, you know, the way our country, you know, is, right? They don't consider us.
We have to pass that stage where people are continuing to bring the old argument, oh, we have Liberia on the ground here, so they will be taking away our job. The issue about building Liberia has got to do with every one of us, whether you are in the diaspora or you are on the ground.
Absolutely.
It has to be every one of us. All right? So if the government decides that, look, this project, we cannot do it alone, we need to tap into our diaspora Liberian, it's something that we should embrace. It's something that we should embrace. We should bring our best man outside of Liberia to be able to conduct the training, to be able to conduct the training to ensure that the national security interest of our country is not compromised. It should not be about taking jobs from people. It should be about the national interest. So whether the government decides to bring some people from outside who are Liberians that are able to do the job, in fact, let me say this to you. When the government decides to do that, it will even reduce the cost. Because it will be about national interest. It will reduce the cost. Liberia outside of Liberia that can do that job will not be pushing our government to say, okay, give us this amount of million to do this job. That will be seen as a contribution from themselves to their country. It will reduce the cost. So for me, the argument about whether they'll be taking jobs from us, it does not hold water at all. What we need to be doing now is for the government to be transparent and say, look, we need our best man out of Liberia and in Liberia to join together to make this process to come to fruition. But the issue about arguing about opposition, this one, it doesn't make sense to me.
Thank you, Alfred. I agree with you, but
I want to say thank you so much. I want to say thank you. But finally, let me close on the last conversation that you guys were talking about.
Enjoy yourself. Nobody calling, so that's why you got all the time. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, but finally, on the issue about the CDC with regards to Duncan, making his accession today, I think I agree with my brother Soiree, because in this kind of political process, you always see people moving here and there. So I think it's early for Duncan trying to hold ground so that he can have political relevance in the not too distant future. So that's why he started to speak out now. So that tomorrow, people will not say, oh, this man is a party loyalty man. He will have ground to say, oh, my people, I was speaking out against my own party. So it's important that I remain in this job. So politicians are not people to trust. They can only hang their coat to where the sun shines. So if they see opportunity to do that, they will always do it. So again, I want to say thank you so much for having me on the show tonight, and I will look forward to joining you guys soon.
Thank you, Alfred.
Thank you for being our phone guest. Because you're more than the guest. You're not even call us tonight.
Go ahead. Let's close up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I mean,
Thank you. I think it was a good show. But
No,
let's just
let me
wait.
just
Because,
quick. Let me quickly zero because I have to go.
Just wait. Because you're chatting
Sorry,
with
I
I,
have to
somebody.
wait for everybody to close. So just go
sorry,
ahead.
I beg you. I beg
Okay,
you
go ahead. Go ahead. No
because I have
problem.
to go.
No, I'm not going. You have to wait for everybody to close.
You
I'm a
close that
family
going
man.
on.
I have to go.
Oh, so we not
Okay.
family. Look at that answer was a very wrong answer.
No, I say I'm God, Amy. Hey, you by Amy. Quit the
Very wrong answer.
Okay, sorry, I'll take it back. Let me add you can call back. I take it back.
No, we don't wait together.
No, I take it back. So, well, the issue here is that let us be honest to ourselves. This government has made some strides. The first diaspora conference was held in Liberia under this week administration. When they brought the slogan, once a Liberian is always what? A Liberian. You have entrepreneurs and other people that are Liberian outside the country. They came back home. They had a very big program for them. President Bouaka, on numerous occasions, pleaded with Liberians and said, those of you who are outside, even when that Liberian guy built a clinic over there in Magiri, President Bouaka went there. And when you're even making that joke, say, you don't come home there, Jonathan Trump is there. And they spin that one all around in different form. This president has been one of the presidents who have appealed and begged Liberians to have expertise to come home and help build Liberia. And that's the reason why he continues to say, they're all together build Liberia. Look, our GSM companies have our data, but there is a pact that is signed between any foreign company and the Liberian government to ensure the safety of that data. So not because they have Indians doing our data, so that means they have complete control over it. No, that is misleading. And it is sorrowful that people don't know the workings of government will get come and say, oh, the government gave company to give contract to foreign company and not prioritizing Liberians. Look, we're not saying that they are not qualified Liberians, but there are not enough Liberians that have the capacity to do the job that the government wants, that his government is outsourcing. I told you, the biometric on this identification card that is giving out is not school ID card, not high school ID card. Anybody can find, they can do that work. You can find local merchant to do that work. But this is a national identification card. This is a big, it's a bigger thing. So you have to have people who have the credential, who have the track record of doing this kind of large with the population that we have. So let us just forget about that issue. If there are Liberians out there who are able to do the work, they can apply because there was a bidding process. They can apply. If they apply, the government go through and the government see that you have a record of doing the kind of work before, then we can support you in the process. But it be as it may, we look forward to a time that we will have Liberian-owned businesses, Liberian-owned institutions, and that can be able to run all of these national agencies, that it will benefit Liberians, and the liberalization policy will be upheld. But until then, we are still in the process of growing. So we will not shy away foreign company, but we want foreign people money, but we want foreign people to come and work and give us and build up our institution. That's the hypocrisy. But be as it may, we support the government to succeed, and what a great show. I can't say too much more, but I pray that I'm happy that the government listened, and we wish President Bouaka and his all his lieutenants well, and I will pray that we all will continue to think, love, and build Liberia. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a good thing to be here always. It's not easy to be here. It's sometimes stressful. It's sometimes time giving. And I want to appreciate everyone that being part of the conversation, especially you, the host, for always being here to hold us. When we started the project called NIACO, National Intellectual Exchange for Coexisting, there's a lot of challenges we have. We even have our online platform. Sometimes you want to go as a host and only have 2 person watching. But I always say it's not about the quantity, but the quality of people that are watching and carrying the message out there. Is always a unique thing. But the very thing that we encourage us to always be here to enlighten the minds of Liberians on issues of concern. I think it's if our follower, if the viewer is constantly sharing the show, share as much as you can. Like Famula will always say, sharing is caring. We are more paramount and concerned about that because the little information we have to give you, it's not about how we say it, but how you understand it and get the little knowledge we share with you. And we appreciate your feedback too from the comment section and sometimes those that are calling. It's a good thing to discuss Liberia. We discussed the national identification card. I think it's a good thing when things are now responses. As a listening and responsible government, you should try to go back and drawing board and correct some of the error or mistakes or things that you think you can put into place and to get it very effective. And I think that what the government did, and people should not see it like error, laziness, but people will take it as the argument. That's fine. But the hard thing about every mistake is to correct that mistake and make progress.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot make a mistake and keep bragging. Oh, this was not a mistake. I mean, we'll keep doing this. That doesn't make any sense. Government is for the people, by the people, and should be in the interest of the people. I mean, it's a good thing always to be here. We discuss the CDC aspect. That's a usual thing. People want to get out of relevant. People doing it from a business sincerity aspect. Fine, that's the trends of our politics. But when we having these changes, if you had disagreement, say your disagreement. And Brother Anthony, for some reason, is in anger. For some reason, I don't know, they changes of getting some question to him, getting offended. I don't think it was necessary in my mind. You go to platform and has intellectual changes, stand the heat of the changes. As an intellectual, do not run away from the platform because in your mind you feel like you're not protected, right?
Sorry, Ragnar is on another show. Anthony, just like that.
That's
he's
fine.
on another show right now.
That's fine, but we'll say these things
That's
because
fine. Oh, he's going.
we should always be, all of us should be somehow mature, somehow responsible when it comes to the conversation. It's always the way in which sometimes you don't like things going. You can say it when they give you the chance to come out to speak, right? But you can't leave the platform. That would just disrespectful to all of the panels. When people don't understand the thing they do is that's fine. Let's keep doing this together to get Mama Libera up. And I think it's a good thing to always be here, Amy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And thanks, family, as
Thank
well.
you. Thank you to you guys as well. Thank you to everybody who's watching. You know, like you said, sorry, we're doing it for Mama Libera. None of us getting paid for these things, right? We take our time, we come on here. Whoever wants to come and talk, they will talk. Whoever, you know, these are the kind of thing when you start new there, people don't want to take it seriously, right? But after it builds and it becomes something, then they want to come be looking for a spot. Oh, why the other group of people so too many of them here? Why? But you forgotten to know that those group of people were there to make it what it is today. You know, like you said, you on a platform and someone said let's do it one at a time because it's not good for the people who are listening and you get in your feelings. I don't understand what that is about. But anyways, we'll be here when he's ready to come on, he will come on, or whoever. I think we should all we just something to be is to be respectful to each other and while we talk about Mama Liberia. And that's what we're here to do. So share the show. Thank you for being here, my Ruth. Thank you for being here, Wilson. We're still waiting for you to join us. And Alfred, thank you for calling in. And everyone who's watching and not commenting that we've not seen your names, thank you so much. And thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
And thanks for the actor who was here. It's not easy to be on these kind of a Zoom stuff for 2 hours for Liberia.
From Liberia.
I experienced it.
With his data and his raining cats and dogs, and he still managed to be on here. And even though the rain was not giving him a chance to stay on, but we appreciate you. And thank you so much. And with that, I said good night, and we'll see you tomorrow, God's willing.